ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Now it's officially spring, and one thing we have here in Florida, baseball players officially counting down to the end of spring training. As tonight on the Yes Network, it'll be the New York Yankees against the Minnesota Twins from George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. And it's presented by Verizon Fios. Hi, everybody. Ken Singleton along with Lou Piniella once again tonight. Well, the Yankees are taking on these Minnesota Twins, and it seems like every day, Lou, we're talking about somebody getting injured and dropping out of the Yankee lineup. Well, tonight, the Yankees actually have a big addition returning to their lineup.
Well, they're getting one of the greatest players in all of baseball back, Robinson Cano. I love to watch Robinson hit. He's got such a fluid swing. He makes things happen, and when he's in the lineup, the Yankee offense goes.
Well, the Yankee offense goes, and so did the Dominican Republic offense go in the WBC. They won the championship, and Robinson Cano was a big part of the reason why they were able to do so. You look at the numbers, and Cano hit .469 with 4 doubles, 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in, and a WBC record 15 hits. Dominican Republic went undefeated, 8-0, and winning the championship. Robinson Cano was the MVP. Here's our Verizon Fios pitching matchup for the night. It's going to be Liam Hendricks pitching for the Minnesota Twins. He's 1-1 with a 6.00 ERA. And for the Yankees, it's going to be David Phelps, 2-2 with a 2.37. We come back, we got the Yankees and the Twins. Eduardo Nunez getting ready, as well as Robinson Cano, who's back in the lineup tonight for the Yankees. It's all coming up next on Yes.
Morning, Brian.
Powered by Tri Honda. Hurry to your local Tri Honda dealer for great deals on the 2013 CR-V. By PC Richard & Son, the appliance, electronics, and computer giant. And by Kia. Visit Kia.com to learn why Kia is one of the fastest growing car brands in America. Tony Pena. He was the manager of the Dominican Republic World Baseball Classic team, and he's got the lineups. And a Twin starting lineup is presented by Hyundai. And we'll take a look at the Twins for tonight. Aaron Hicks, good prospect in center field. He'll be leading off. Brian Dozier's at second base. Jeff Clement, the designated hitter. Chris Parmelee will be at first base. Miguel Sano will be at third base. Darren Mastriani will be in right field. Joe Benson's in left. Drew Patera is doing the catching. And Pedro Florimon will be at shortstop and batting ninth. On the mound for the Yankees tonight, David Phelps. He's had himself a very good spring. And he's had himself a pretty good start to his career. 5 starts so far this spring, 2-2 record. 12 strikeouts in 19 innings, a 2.4, make that a 243 batting average against. And we'll check out the pitcher scouting report. Missed the versatility last year. His spot started, worked out of the bullpen. He's got a good pickoff move. He's the first right-hander for the Yankees to pick off 2 men in 1 game since Scott Kamenicki back in 1991. And he had an immediate impact with the Yankees. He retired the first 13 men he faced in the big leagues. And no Yankee pitcher had done that for 50 years.
Well, he's a good-looking young pitcher. There's no question about it. And what makes him so valuable, not only can he start, but he can pitch well out of the bullpen. He's got 4 good pitches, a good cutback fastball, and a curveball. Slider and change.
There's the first pitch to Aaron Hicks, and it's a little low for ball 1. And you can see Hicks is having a good spring. 306, 4 home runs, 13 runs batted in. And he takes that pitch for a strike. The Twins really like this guy, Lou.
They really do. And he's leading the Twins in home runs, RBIs. He's hitting over 300, and he's playing a heck of a center field. They're going to give him every opportunity to be the opening day center fielder.
And to boot, he's a switch hitter. Ground ball to the right side. And up with it. And throwing the first in time is Robinson Cano. Saw Cano at second. Gold Glover for the Yankees back in the lineup. And we'll take a look at the rest of the Yankees on defense. Ichiro tonight is in left field. Brett Gardner's in center. Brian Bosch is in right. Jason Nix at third. Eduardo Nunez at short. You saw Cano at second. Kevin Youkilis moves over from third base. He's playing first tonight. And Francisco Cervelli is doing the catching for David Phelps. The number 2 hitter will be Brian Dozier, the second baseman for Minnesota. And the first pitch to him is in there for a call strike.
I've been impressed with Phelps. He's been throwing first pitch strikes all spring. And when you have that good breaking ball to go with that good fastball, it makes it a little tougher on the hitters, no question.
That one just missed, and it's a ball and a strike. Last year, Dozier was called up May 7th when Justin Morneau went on the disabled list, and he promptly hit in 14 of his first 18 major league games. Swing and a miss, a good slider.
You know, the Twins, they brought a lot of young good ball players here tonight. A lot of them moved from AAA baseball to the major leagues last summer, but there are a few of them here that can make the lineup, and Gardenhire, the manager, really likes him.
Yeah, Ron Gardenhire in his 12th year with the Twins, and there is call, strike 3. Fastball to the outside corner from David Phelps, picks up his first strikeout of the night. 2 up and 2 down for the Twins.
Well, you see the catcher, Cervelli, sitting on the outside part of the plate, and there's that comeback fastball that the hitter gives up on. Looks like it's going to go away, moves back over the outside corner, strike 3.
Cervelli knew it, didn't he?
He knew it right away.
Here's Jeff Clement. And he swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. Another first pitch strike. Let's look at the game time weather conditions brought to you by Toyota. It's chilly here tonight in Tampa. You know, Lou is a native of this area. He said, when Lou's got a jacket on, you know it's chilly.
I wore my socks tonight, too.
60 degrees here in Tampa, 38 degrees in the Bronx. Next pitch is fouled off, and it's quickly. No balls and 2 strikes on Clement, who the Twins signed as a minor league free agent. And this is what he's done so far this spring training. Last year, he'd been in the Pittsburgh Pirate organization. Got a cup of coffee with the Pirates last year. Drove in 1 run in the big leagues.
Yeah, he's got good power. He swings and misses a lot. That's a problem.
That's inside, straightens him up, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. He had 16 home runs at AAA Indianapolis last year. And he's getting a look-see here with Minnesota this spring. There's your swing and a miss. He is struck out. Cervelli will throw on the first to complete the putout. And David Phelps has a quick 1-2-3 inning. 5 of the first. There's no score.
It is one of the
Steinbrenner Field, and the Yankees are getting ready for their turn at bat here in the first inning, and we'll check out their starting lineup presented by Lexus. At the very top, the very speedy Brett Gardner. He'll be in center field, followed by Ichiro Suzuki, moves over to left field tonight. Robinson Cano back in the lineup, and he'll be batting third and playing second base. Kevin Youkilis, the cleanup hitter, will be at first. Travis Hafner, the DH, followed by Brennan Bosch, who'll be in right field. Eduardo Nunez is in short. Jason Nix at third base tonight, and Francisco Cervelli batting ninth and doing the catching. And they will be facing Liam Hendricks as Joe Girardi takes one more look at his lineup. Liam Hendricks getting a chance to be the fifth starter in the Twins rotation, and this is what he's done thus far this spring. This will be his sixth start. He's 1-1 with a 6.00 ERA, 9 strikeouts in 15 innings. Here's our scouting report on Liam Hendricks. He is from down under. He's from Australia, Perth, Western Australia. That's where he was born and still lives. He had a series of 17 starts without a win. And before he finally beat the Cleveland Indians, he's a frequent flyer, Lou, and you'll like this. Gave up 17 home runs in 87 innings last year.
Well, if you go 17 starts without a win, you're going to be a frequent flyer, Kenny.
Well, the Twins AAA is down in Rochester.
That's what I was alluding to.
Here's Gardner having himself a good spring, 3-0-4. And he takes a pitch outside. The count evens at a ball and a strike.
You know, Gardner likes that leadoff spot. I was reading his comments today. If I made contact like he does and ran the way he did, can bunt, I would like that leadoff spot also.
That pitch is low, 2 balls and a strike, and he has a good idea of the strike zone. He doesn't chase very many bad pitches. You know, with the absence of Derek Jeter now for the next little while, Derek's not going to appear in a major league game. The pitch is fouled off 2-2.
Does that mean, Kenny, that he's going to play in some minor league games, you think? Or?
Well, just in case the Yankees have to put him on the disabled list, they can backdate it. And it would mean he'd miss maybe about 4 or 5 games into the regular season. So that's why he will not participate in any major league spring training games from this point on.
You know, I managed all these years. I didn't know that rule.
Gardner with a ground ball to second for Dozier. Gobbles it up, throws him out, 1 down. Minnesota on defense tonight. From left to right in the outfield, it's going to be Joe Benson in left. Aaron Hicks will be in center. Darren Mastriani will be in right field. Miguel Cano at third. Pedro Florimon at short. Brian Dozier at second. Chris Parmalee at first, and Drew Butera doing the catching for Liam Hendricks. Here's Ichiro Suzuki, and he jumps on the first pitch, ground ball to Florimon, and he's out. 2 ground ball outs, and 2 down for the Yankees here at the bottom of the first.
Now, Hendricks so far has shown a pretty good little fastball here in the first inning.
I'll tell you what, if they're going to go all the way to Australia to find you, you must be able to do something. Welcome back to Robbie Cano. And as we told you, the MVP of the World Baseball Classic on the championship Dominican team, which went undefeated 8-0. And Robbie set a record for the most hits ever in the WBC tournament. The ground ball towards short. Well, quick inning for Hendricks. Cano is thrown out, and the Yankees go in order. Nothing across for New York. We're moving quickly to the second inning. No score here at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Cano back in the Yankee lineup, and for tonight's game, Meredith Marakovich had a chance to catch up with the Yankee second baseman and find out about his experience.
Robbie, coming fresh off a WBC win, how much did you enjoy that whole experience?
Well, it was a great experience. I mean, you know, the guys, the chemistry was in there, all the energy. I mean, everybody was excited to be there. I mean, but thanks God, everything came out our way.
Why was it so important for you to play for that team and to represent your country?
Well, I mean, you know, Dominican is like, they know about baseball, so they want us to go there. I mean, the country was like so bad, they won the trophy. And then we said, why not? Why not go there and represent the country that see you growing up, the country that where you learn how to play this game, and now you became one of the guys in the big league, so why not just go out there and just show your country how much you care about them, and just go there and represent them.
What do you think that win did for them? What do you think the people in the Dominican thought of the whole WBC?
Well, that was fun. I mean, I saw a couple of videos, people like how many people was in the stadium watching the game, and people in the street after we won. I mean, that was so huge for them, and you know, thanks God that I was part of the group.
You seem to take more of a leadership role with that team. Did you enjoy that, being more of a leader out there?
Oh, I mean, that was fun. I mean, I didn't see it that way, you know, until the last day that you know, but everything, it was like, you know, every day just go out there and just, you know, motivate the guy, just tell the guy that what was our mission and our goal to go there and win it all. If we was there, like every game we won, so we got to go out there and win it again. And I mean, everybody was happy to be there, and everybody was enjoying it.
With the injuries that this team has sustained already so far this spring, do you feel like you need to be more of a vocal leader this year, or you think you're going to be content to do what you've been doing the past couple seasons?
Well, I mean, I'm just going to go out there and play my game, and I mean, the only thing I want is just, you know, we're keeping the race until we get the rest of the guys back. When you get Granderson, Teixeira, A-Rod, I mean, when you get those guys in the race, so when they get back, we have the full team, and then we're in the competition.
Here's so much this offseason about the power you guys lost, but pretty safe to say you're feeling pretty good at the plate after the MVP and that whole World Baseball Classic?
Well, things got to feel good. I mean, today's going to be my first game, and hopefully there's no different or any changes in my swing.
Well, thank you, Meredith and Robbie. And, you know, Lou, I think it's telling that he said that about being a leader. There's different ways of being a leader. The people look to you when you play as well as you do, especially as well as he. You don't have to be a rah-rah type of guy. I mean, he hit .469. That's leadership in itself.
Yeah, you show leadership in different ways, and the way you show it the best way is by playing hard on the field every day.
3-2 fastball. Strikes out Chris Parmalee. Look at 3 consecutive strikeouts for David Phelps, and 4 in a row retired for the Minnesota Twins. He looks good tonight, Lou.
Well, he's getting ahead with that fastball. He's got that pitch right on that outside corner. I mean, he's really pitching well to both sides of the plate. And when you can do that, use a changeup occasionally, and these hitters know that he's got that good curveball. It's a good combination for him.
Here's Miguel Cano, as in Cano with an S, and he lines the first pitch into center field for a base hit. Now, Ron Gardenhire really loves this young man. He thinks he's going to be a big-time player. And when you look at some of the numbers that he put up last year, he drove in 100 runs in 129 games in the minor leagues. That is some kind of pounding.
Listen, he's an RBI machine. He's got power. He's got a really, really good throwing arm from third base. I was watching him take infield.
It's for the Dominican Republic, and you might see him in a future WBC Classic. And 9th best overall prospect in baseball, ranked by Baseball America.
You know, a lot of people, scouts I'm talking about, talk about the fact that they remind him somewhat of Angel Cabrera, the MVP of the American League last year with the Detroit Tigers.
Darren Mastriani is the player at the plate. Mastriani was actually born in Mount Kisco, New York. Went to Fox Lane High School. That pitch is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-2. Claimed off waivers from Toronto by the Minnesota Twins. This guy has a lot of speed. Last year in the minors, 21 steals in 24 attempts. Great percentage.
Well, the Twins have always been an offensive-minded organization. They like power. They like speed.
Outside for ball. You and I were talking about some of the hitters of the past that the Twins have had.
Oh, gosh.
Hall of Fame type hitters. You know, you can You start with Harmon Killebrew.
Oh boy, I remember when I first came to the big leagues in 1969, and we go to the old Metropolitan Stadium in Minnesota. Boy, was it cold there early in the season. But I'll tell you what, you look at Don Mincher, you look at Rod Carew, you look at Killebrew, you look at Earl Batty, you look at Tony Oliva, you look
Jimmy
at
Hall.
Rich Rollins, Jimmy Hall. No, I'm telling you, up and down, it was a treat watching these guys swing the bat.
Now, that was a team that regularly hit over 200 home runs a year.
Yeah, and the ball really carried well in the Met. And then they moved over to the Metrodome, and the ball really carried well there, too, indoors.
You know, now they have the Mall of America where the Bloomington Stadium is. That's the biggest mall in the country.
How about that?
Pitch misses the inside corner. Count is now full. Now, where home plate was is in the mall. So you can actually slide into the old home plate in the middle of the mall.
I think I've done enough sliding in my career, though, Ken. But the Twins, yeah, you talk about the Minnesota Twins, you talk hitting, you talk about the Atlanta Braves.
Throw gets away from Youkilis at first, and Cano is going to go down to second. So that's going to be an E1. We told you that Phelps has a good pickoff move, and he might have gotten him if the throw was on line.
You had him leaning. There's no question about it. The throw's on line. Yes, he would have gotten him. You got Youkilis over there at first base. He hasn't probably played first base too much this spring. That was a tough throw to handle, though.
Cano talking to Cano. A runner on second with one out. And a full count on Mastriani. Payoff pitch. Hit in the air to center field for Gardner. He's on the move. He's going to get there. Makes the catch for the out. Sano's going to tag. He's headed to third base. He'll be over there with two down. That ball was hit well by Mastriani.
Yeah, he got all of it. Gardner really gets a nice jump. You know, yesterday he made some nice plays in left field against the Red Sox. He's out in center field today, and he handles himself there equally well.
You know, I was just looking at that shot we had at third base with Cano over there. He's built like a tight end. He's a big guy. Here's Joe Benson to come to the plate. Look at his shoulder.
No, he's a big kid. That's why the correlation between he and Cabrera. The size, strong young man. I think he signed what when he was 16 years old?
16 years old. Obviously they fed him at 16. Here's Benson, another prospect for the Minnesota Twins. He takes a pitch inside for a ball.
If I'm not mistaken, this is his first spring training at bat also. Just lined the ball right up the middle.
That's right. He'd been in minor league games to this point. So Cano making an immediate impact. That bus ride up here from Fort Myers didn't bother him. That's outside for ball two to Benson. Benson, another prospect, an outfield prospect. Probably will be playing at Rochester this year, but he's getting a good look at camp.
Yeah, they want him to play. They like Benson as a hitter. They like him as an outfielder. He's got speed. He's got a nice throwing arm, but they don't want him sitting. They want him playing.
He takes a pitch for ball three. 3 balls and no strikes. So Phelps had a quick 1-2-3 first inning. Got off to a good start here in the second inning with a strikeout, but a single and error and a fly ball. And that pitch is in there for a strike, and he's got a runner at third with 2 down.
The Twins have always had good approach to hitting, too, especially with men in scoring position. They don't really pull the ball. They hit the ball more into the gaps. We'll see what happens here with Benson.
You know, we left out hitters, more modern Twins like Kirby Puckett and Kent Hrbek. That's some good hitters.
Great hitters.
Yeah.
Great hitters. Kirby could really hit.
Yeah, he could.
I mean, really compact. Really a fun guy to watch play baseball.
3-1 pitch is outside. It's a base on balls for Benson. He'll head to first base. So there's runners on the corners with 2 down.
And Hrbek, you weren't going to find a much better left-hand swing.
His swing was built for the Metrodome.
No question.
Here's Drew Butera, the catcher. Butera is the backup to Joe Mauer. Players like Mauer Justin Morneau, Josh Willingham, they did not make the trip. You can almost guarantee they'll be in the lineup tomorrow when the Yankees head down to Fort Myers to take on the Twins, about 2.5 hours south of Tampa.
Well, managers usually give their star players a little benefit of the doubt when you make these long trips.
But sometimes somebody draws the short straw. It's almost like the manager has to apologize to one of his stars. You got to go on a trip. We got to bring somebody.
Well, you don't miss them all.
Yeah.
But tomorrow with a day game.
I mean, you had to go to Fort Myers from Fort Lauderdale, didn't you?
I made that trip a lot. I really did.
That's a long trip. That's about 3 hours on a bus.
But we didn't play night games in Fort Myers. They were day games, which made things a little easier.
Yeah. Ball and a strike on Butera. His dad was a big league catcher.
Yeah, Sal.
Yeah.
Sal was a good catch and throw guy.
Played for several teams and longtime scout for the Toronto Blue Jays. That's outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. So Phelps running into a bit of a jam here. Pitch count getting up there. 33 pitches through an inning and 2/3. Foul tip into the glove of Cervelli.
That ball had good life on it. Hitter sitting on a fastball. He just threw it right by him.
That's when you can tell a pitcher has a live fastball when the hitter's ahead on the count and still can't get to it.
Yeah, he hit the catcher's glove. Cervelli sitting right on the outside corner, and that's exactly where that pitch was.
Let's see what he chooses here to try and put him away. Fastball to the outside corner for call, strike 3. So a couple of more strikeouts for David Phelps here in the second. The Twins do not score. The end of 1.5. No score here in Florida. Time to check out the Mazda upcoming schedule. We're getting down to the last stages of spring training, and as you can see, the Yankees headed to Fort Myers tomorrow. Then they play Detroit and Lakeland, Tampa Bay here. That'll be on Yes on Sunday. Monday night, Houston Astros come in here for a night game, and that will be on Yes. Then they play Baltimore and Sarasota. Then they end their spring training session here in Florida with the Pittsburgh Pirates as Kevin Youkilis takes a curve for a strike, and it's 0-2. And
yeah, Kenny, it's getting about that time for the regular season to start.
Yeah, you want to see the hitters just start to really get into it.
Yeah, early in the spring, you took a lot of pitches. I thought it would help you, but now is the time where you want to start getting some base hits and getting some really nice at bats. It builds your confidence for the start of the season. I'll tell you what, sometimes towards the end of spring training when I was really struggling,
Little looper to the right side. It's going to be the second baseman Dozier who makes the catch. You struggle? You never struggle.
Yeah, I struggled. Believe me. Yeah, I struggled. But I thought, when am I ever going to get another base hit? Now you leave Florida, you go up north, you get in a little cooler weather, you have a day off, and boy, you get to the ballpark, the bat feels light again, and you're ready to go. But you have to work hard in spring training to get to that point.
Here's Travis Hafner. So you're saying you didn't mind cold weather. I didn't like it.
Well, you know, I used a little thicker handled bat in cold weather than I did in warmer weather.
Hafner swings at a changeup, doesn't get it. Strike one.
Because when you got jammed,
it hurt.
It hurts. It hurts. At least you had a thicker handle to protect your hands a little bit.
Another changeup that's downstairs, and it's a ball and a strike on Hafner.
But I like the warmer weather. Believe me, I was born and raised here in Florida.
You know what? Even though I grew up in New York, I still didn't like playing in cold weather. I played in the snow in high school. Ball is fouled off. Ball and 2 strikes.
Oh, but you open up in Detroit, you open up in Minnesota, you open up in Boston,
Milwaukee.
Boy, I'm telling you. 1 for 4 sounds pretty good. If you can work a walk that day and go 1 for 3, and your team wins, boy, you've had a heck of a ball game.
And you felt like you had every stitch of clothing in your locker on. You felt like the Michelin Man at the plate.
No question.
Pitches inside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hafner. I was talking to Hafner before the game, and he was putting on a show at batting practice. He hit a couple over the pavilion in right field.
Yeah, one went on to Dale Mabry Boulevard. Yeah.
Had to stop traffic momentarily. 2-2 pitch is low, and Hafner's always had himself a pretty good eye. So once again, he runs a deep count. You see how far away that is. The wind was well, it still is blowing out towards right. Not as much as it was during a batting practice.
But he's at 138 batting average wise. He needs to start getting it going here.
Lines it foul. That's going to be a tough souvenir down the left field line.
Now, I would think he's battling for some playing time, some at bats.
Yeah, I think he's kind of penciled in surely as a Yankee DH against right-handed pitching, and maybe he's one of those guys get out of spring training and catches fire when the season starts. Pitch is fouled off. That's what Raul Ibanez did last year.
Well, there's some guys that hit well in the spring and some guys that don't. And when you're a veteran player, the manager has to be patient. He just give you at bats when the season starts and see what happens.
Well, that over that pavilion in right field would be about the second deck at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx.
Well, he hit quite a few over at
Cleveland. Yeah.
Cleveland.
Here's the payoff pitch on the way, and it's inside, ball 4. Well, we talked about the remaining spring schedule. Here's the upcoming regular season schedule for the Yankees. And as you can see, they open up April 1st at home against the Boston Red Sox, and a day off, a couple more games against Boston. Then the home opener for the Detroit Tigers. The Yankees are in town in Detroit, and then they move on to Cleveland. And it's the home opener on the 8th for Cleveland. So 3 home openers for the Yankees in their first 3 series. And then the Baltimore Orioles come into the Bronx on the 12th.
That's a tough little schedule to start the season, Kenny.
Bring a coat. Here's Brendan Bosch.
You know, your first opening day I liked a lot, but after that, I'd rather just go out in the field and play baseball.
I like the home opener. That's always great. You know, fans are
into it. They're not booing. And they're excited that the baseball season's starting.
You know what? I got that same feeling as a kid, because you felt like spring was coming. You know, warmer weather, be outside, long winter's over. Pitch to Bosch, and that's a call strike, and it's 0-2. Had a chance to talk to Brennan before the game today. What a nice young man.
Yeah, he is, and he's a nice addition here. He's athletic. He can run a little bit. He can play the outfield. He put the ball in play.
He can hit it just about as far as Hafner can. 0-2 pitch misses outside. Ball and 2 strikes. Make that a 2-2 count. swing and a missed strike 3. First strikeout for Liam Hendricks. Got him on a breaking ball.
A pretty good breaking ball. Yeah. Had nice downward motion. See the pitch here. Right over the top. Hitter just pulled his head. Swung right over the top of it. Good curveball.
We mentioned Hendricks has a chance to be the 5th starter. Scott Diamond should be starting along with Vance Worley, Kevin Correa, former Met Mike Pelfrey, and Samuel Duno, who was pitching for the Dominican Republic in the WBC. And Tony Pena was raving about Duno and the fact that his ball just moves all over the place. Here's Eduardo Nunez at shortstop tonight. And he lifts a high fly ball to center field for Hicks. And Hicks is there, makes the catch, and that's going to do it. Yankees do not score in the second. They leave a runner. It's on to the 3rd inning here in Tampa. Here it's time for the field. No score between the Minnesota Twins and the Yankees. And now top of the 3rd, it means it's time for Meredith Morakovitz. And Meredith, where are you today?
I'm back here in the picnic area. I have to tell you, Kenny, it is freezing out here tonight. You are in the warm confines of that broadcast booth, but it's all right. The fans are still enjoying it out here.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's not that warm up here either. Well, let's talk about the Yankee captain. He's back in the clubhouse tonight.
He was back in the clubhouse this afternoon, and he said that cortisone shot that he had yesterday had an immediate impact. His ankle already feels a little bit better. He didn't do any activity today, but he is scheduled to do some baseball activity tomorrow, so he'll come out on the field. He'll hit, he'll do some drills and see how that ankle is feeling from there. I know both you and Lou talked about it a little bit, the fact that he's not going to play in any more games up here with the club. He'd play in a minor league game in the event that he's going to get some work in, just in case he's not ready for opening day. That would give them a little bit of some leeway that they'd be able to make that date retroactive to the 22nd, and he'd only miss about a week of the season instead of 15 days. So it remains to be seen whether or not Derek Jeter will be there on opening day. And it's funny because if you ask him, he'll be the first one to tell you, regardless of the situation, he feels great. So really it's going to be up to Joe Girardi to manage him and to see if he really believes that Jeter is ready. And you also have to consider he hasn't played 9 innings in a game yet. That might be something that the Yankees organization wants to see before they know he's 100% healthy and ready to come back and play short.
Yeah, I thought I heard Joe Girardi mention he wants him to be at least able to play back-to-back days, 9 innings. There's call strike 3 on Pedro Flormont. 5 strikeouts now for David Phelps. Let's move on to Phil Hughes. Now, he's supposed to be pitching pretty soon. It's getting, we don't know. Is he going to be ready for the season? We haven't seen him on the mound yet.
It's getting close. He's throwing in a minor league game tomorrow. Throw about 45 to 50 pitches. It'll probably break down to about 3 or 4 innings. And the good news with Phil Hughes is he hasn't felt any pain in that back since he started throwing again. So he's 100% healthy now. It's just getting his arm strength up, his pitch count up, and his innings up. So he's still a question mark as to whether or not he'll make his first start. But when I talked to you last time, they said they're going to take it slow with Phil Hughes. They're not going to rush him. Worst case scenario, he misses one start as opposed to missing a lot of time because he's not right. So Phil Hughes wants to make sure he's right before he gets back out there on the mound for the first time.
Well, that kind of shows us the importance of David Phelps and what he's done thus far this spring. He's been pitching pretty well.
And you know what, Kenny, that makes it so much easier, the fact that they have two guys in David Phelps and Ivan Nova that can fill in nicely in the event that Phil Hughes can't make his first turn through the rotation. And you look at David Phelps, he was a guy that came in last year just trying to make the team, trying to find his way, and now he's somebody that the Yankees really think quite highly of, whether it is as a guy coming out of the bullpen or as a starter. He's a guy that's kind of grown by leaps and bounds since this time last season.
Well, with one out, we just saw Aaron Hicks, the highly touted prospect of the Twins, with a double to right center field, showed some good speed between first and second. Now, we saw your interview with Robbie Cano, and it was tremendous. And it seems like he's very happy to be back in the lineup and back in the lineup quickly, too.
Hey, he's a very happy guy. He loves to play the game, and he's back here with the Yankees. And a lot of people say, I can't believe he's playing tonight. He just got back. He did have yesterday off. It was more of a travel day for him, but he wanted to come back and get right back in the lineup. He said he wanted to play. And, Kenny, I'll take it a step further. He's scheduled to go to Fort Myers tomorrow, so he has no intention of getting out of that lineup. But Joe Girardi did say that following day on Saturday he would give him the afternoon off. But Robbie's swinging the bat extremely well now. You got to believe when you're swinging like that, you want to get some more at-bats and you want to continue that.
Another pickoff attempt by David Phelps goes awry, and Hicks will move over to third. Second throwing error by the Yankee pitcher tonight. They're working on pickoffs. They got to work on them a little bit more. Now we're going to check out Meredith, the replay here.
And Phelps has got as good a move as anybody in baseball. Both of them.
You know, does Robbie know that it's a day game tomorrow in Fort Myers?
It's a quick turnaround, and you know, it's a good 2-hour bus ride. So if I remember correctly, that bus is leaving about 7:45, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So it's certainly an early call, and it's interesting because a lot of the veterans, they try to stay away from trips like that. They'll take some of the close trips, but they won't get on that 2-hour bus ride. But not Robbie. He's raring to go.
You know, there's some people I know that are not morning people, and they don't appreciate that sort of thing. But it's good to see Robbie back. And the numbers that he put up in the WBC were simply amazing.
Unbelievable. And you look at it, Kenny, not a huge sample size. He was 15 for 32, just 32 at bats, but still you have to look at it and look at where he is at this point in time. Still early in the spring, and he's hitting .469 and having that type of an impact. But I think even more than the offensive production and the defense, which is always there, was the fact that he did take a little bit more of a leadership role. And you'll hear me talk with Tony Pena about that later throughout the course of this game. But that was something that really impressed him, the way he's matured a lot, gone about his business, led by example, but also was vocal and telling the guys on that team, hey, we have to get it together today. We have to win this game. So that was something that really impressed Pena about Cano playing in that World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, we just took a shot of Tony Pena in the dugout. Of course, he was the manager, the winning manager for the Dominican Republic team. And Meredith, I think you were here the day that Tony actually left to go off and manage, and he got a big send-off from the Yankee coaching staff. They all gave him big hugs, wished him good luck. I don't know if they felt he was going to do that well, but he came back undefeated, and the winning manager certainly did very well.
Kenny, there's no doubt that everybody here in this Yankees organization is extremely proud of him and Cano and everything they were able to accomplish. Pena actually walked through the clubhouse this afternoon when it opened about 2:05, and literally all the coaches came up to him, gave him hugs, and as he was walking through, each of the beat writers shook his hand and congratulated him on the success. And you know him, he always has a huge smile on his face, maybe just a little bigger today when he walked through that clubhouse.
Well, Meredith, thank you very much, and we'll look forward to hearing from Tony Pena a little bit later on in your interview with the winning manager from the WBC. Thanks, Meredith.
No problem, Kenny. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay. Well, the Twins have a runner on third with one out. It's a good test on a 3-2 pitch to Brian Dozier. And it's inside for ball 4 to put runners on the corners with one down. By the way, that error at second base on that errant throw was charged to Robinson Cano, so it was an E4.
It was a tough throw to handle.
Into the runner.
Right into the runner.
So Phelps, with his 5 strikeouts, now has 2 walks. And he's got runners on the corners, but a double play will get him out of the inning. And Jeff Clement will come to the plate. Clement struck out his first time up.
Yeah, Phelps is struggling with his command here a little bit, throwing a lot of pitches.
Pitch is grounded foul down the first base side. He's not quite as sharp. He's been able to hit that outside corner for called strikes, but he's gone deeper in the counts than he usually has been this spring.
Yeah, the first couple innings he was strike 1, pounding the outside part of the plate, and this inning here he struggled.
Sometimes when you're struggling, you get out of jams, it really gives you confidence, and then everything starts to click. Seeing if he can get out of this one. Twins left 2 men on last inning, didn't score. And now we're going to have a discussion about how they're going to go after Mr. Clement.
Yeah, Phelps shook off a couple pitches, and that happens. It's good for the catcher to go out there and get on the same page with your pitcher. What you need here is a good sinking fastball, nice ground ball. Give yourself a chance to turn a double play and get out of the inning.
Either at short or second, take either one. Broken bat, looper, and caught by Nix at third. That ball looked like it might fall in fair territory. So he does get a big out here on a broken bat looper hauled in by Jason Nix at third. Nice play.
Yeah, this is just a good cut fastball right in on his hands. Pops it up. Nix makes a nice play on that ball.
Yeah, looked like a wide receiver, and yep, he got both feet in.
And that ball would have been fair.
So 2 outs. Runner still at the corners, and a cleanup hitter, Chris Parmelee. Parmelee was called out on strikes in the second inning. He drives one well, but over the Yankee bullpen and foul. Well, the Twins have a pretty good 3-4-5 in their order. But none of those guys are here. Joe Mauer, Josh Willingham, and Justin Morneau. There's Ron Gardenhire. We mentioned he's in his 12th year. Twins have fallen upon hard times the last couple of years. They finished in last place in the Central Division 2 years in a row. And Gardenhire and the Twins are certainly not used to that.
No, he had a lot of success his first 7 or 8 years in the big leagues managing. Won a lot of divisions. Won the postseason quite a few years.
Yeah, from 2002 to 2010, the Twins won the division, the Central Division in the American League 6 times. But they have struggled the last couple of years. It's primarily because they are not hitting well. Pitch is low. The throw to second is not in time. A stolen base for Brian Dozier. So the Twins now have runners at second and third and 2 outs.
Well, Dozier just gets a good jump here. Cervelli actually makes a really good throw with something on it.
Get some of that real estate, the Steinbrenner Field real estate, out of the belt. Cervelli's had a good spring throwing out runners.
Yeah, he's throwing very well, but Dozier just gets a really good jump, but the play is much closer than I thought it would be.
2 balls and a strike on Parmelee, who takes it inside for a ball.
You know, Hughes has depended more on his cut fastball, on his comeback fastball, and hasn't thrown that many off-speed pitches, Kenny. Phelps, you know, it's probably the fact that it's a little cooler tonight. He feels stronger.
3-1 pitch, swung on it, missed, strike 2. Powered it right on by him. This is last year, and you can see that he threw up a roadblock. Men on base.
228. Very impressive.
He's got Hicks at third, Dozier at second. And a 3-2 count on Chris Parmelee, who he struck out in the second inning. Trying to get him again here in the third. Payoff pitch. There it is. Call strike 3. He got it.
Pounded it right in the outside part of the plate.
2 strikeouts in the first inning. 2 more strikeouts in the second inning. 2 more strikeouts here in the third inning. 6 strikeouts for David Phelps. No score here in Tampa.
Whenever your number's called and you can go out there and do well and do things to help the team win, feels really great. You know, I mean, at times it can be tough as a bench player, not playing all the time to get in a groove, but once you are able to get a comfortable feel and get some at bats and do some things that help the team win, I mean it feels great.
Well, that's Jason Nix about coming off the bench in a utility role, and tonight he finds himself at third base. Last year, games by position, 29 at third, 18 at short, 13 at second, and 11 in left field. And he hits a hard ground ball to short for Florimond. Gobbles it up, and it shows a strong arm and throws him out, 1 out. Now, Lou, that's something I want to talk to you about yesterday, but we didn't get into it. How hard is it to find a good utility player? Somebody who can help you off the bench and do the little things.
It's not easy. It really isn't. A lot of times you go to spring training, your lineup is set, and what you have to find is a good utility player or 2 on your roster. And you try all kinds of combinations. And Nix is a heck of a good one. He can play 3 or 4 positions. He plays them well. And at the same time, he hits left-hand pitching well and for power. So it gives the manager a lot of versatility. Now, in the National League, with the double switches and so forth, that utility player becomes even a little more valuable.
You know one thing with Nix last year, and he has to be able to run. He could steal a base. He led the Yankees in sacrifice bunts last year. So Joe Girardi puts on the bunt sign when Nix is up there, and he's one of the guys that can get it done. Here's Savelli at the plate, and the count is 1-1.
Well, that's one of the things that you look for. That the utility player basically has to do those things a little better than your everyday player.
That's how he stays in the big leagues.
That's how he stays in the big leagues. That's how he earns his money. That's how he becomes valuable to a team.
Savelli hits this one well in the left field. It's going to chase back Benson, and the warning track, and he makes the catch. That is out number 2. Joe Benson showing some range out in left field. Savelli gave that a pretty good ride and 2 outs. Now, who are some of the best utility players that you saw?
Well, I had Mark McLemore.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, was he good? You know, I had him in Seattle the year we won 116 ball games. We lost our shortstop sometime in August.
Yeah.
And McLemore hadn't played shortstop at all, and he was a regular shortstop for the rest of the year. Now, that is a valuable utility player. Played the outfield, played second, played a little third, played short.
You know what? He stayed in the big leagues with several clubs because he could do that.
And I'll tell you what, this young man could play. I thought that he would be a good major league manager if he stayed in the game.
Well, he's working on TV in Texas now.
Mark DeRosa.
Yeah, another good one.
Another good one. I had him with the Cubs. I mean, he could play all over. Now, when I say utility, these guys could start baseball games because they were both good players, but their versatility made it so easy for me to come to the ballpark and put out a lineup and say, all right, Mark's going to play second today. He's going to play right field. He can play some left. He can play some third.
That's called strike 3 on Gardner, and Hendricks has him a quick 1-2-3 inning. His second strikeout of the night. Still no score.
I mean, obviously, I was a starter my whole career, and it's what I love to do. But I gained a newfound love for the bullpen this past year because I mean, it's a totally different thing, and it's a lot of fun. But as far as like the preparation goes, like they do such a good job. Larry does such a good job of like scouting reports and getting the bullpen guys aside and running over it with us, or if it's your start day, running over with you that day. It's just you're going to be prepared regardless of what your role is.
Well, tonight his role is starting pitcher, and he's 6 strikeouts in 3 innings against this Twins lineup. As we move on to the 4th, there's no score here at Steinbrenner Field.
Kenny, I love his attitude.
Yeah. He was talking about Larry Rothschild, the Yankee pitching coach, who last year saw the Yankees and his pitching staff dole out the fewest walks in the league and set a team record in strikeouts. And here's young Mr. Cano with his 2nd hit of the game. Here are the numbers as a starter and a reliever, Looney. He did pretty well in both roles.
Yeah, he pitched well in both roles. Now, I like a young pitcher like this as a starter. It's much easier to find somebody to pitch innings out of your bullpen in that long role. But boy, when you get a young starter that can win some ball games for you and is durable, you want to put him into your rotation if possible.
Mastriani squares the bunt and takes a pitch outside for a ball.
Well, you never see too much bunting in spring training, Kenny.
They probably work on it, but they want people to hit in the games. They just see what you can do with the bat. Mastriani has had a good spring, hitting .385, a lot of speed. And he fouls it off in a bunt attempt, and the count is a ball and a strike. Cano, this is the first time I've ever seen him play. And, looking up his numbers last year, he had 118 hits and drove in 100 runs with 118 hits. So it's obviously he hit well with runners in scoring position.
Had quite a few walks also, so he knows the strike zone.
Yeah, he did strike out 144 times, though. Big league pitchers might be able to take you apart a little better. Fly ball to right field. Bosch is on the move, still going hard, and he won't be able to get it. The ball is over his head. He slips, Cano got mixed up between second and third, but heads on to third base. And Mastroianni has himself a double, and it's second and third with nobody out for Minnesota. Bosch was playing a bit too shallow in right field, and he got burned.
Yeah, Kenny, I thought this was a very catchable ball when it went up in the air. And here you see Bosch going back, and you're right, he was playing way too shallow. Here he tries to throw it, and he slips on that wet grass. Yeah, he was too shallow, just too shallow. Sometimes the report, you can cheat on this guy a little bit in right field, and that's exactly what happened. And Cano just didn't pick up the ball. A young mistake for a base runner. I think he would have scored if he had kept going.
Yeah, didn't pick up the ball, didn't pick up the coach. Second and third, nobody out. Here's Joe Benson, who drew a walk, and Benson takes one down and away for a ball. Benson's from Joliet, Illinois. I wonder if he knows Jake and Elwood, the Blues Brothers.
How about that?
In fact, one of them did some time at Joliet, if I'm not mistaken. That's how the movie began. Here's the pitch, and that is ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Cervelli's back on the mound talking to Phelps.
So pitch count up around 62. He's got a few left in the tank.
Well, this is what, his 6th start of the spring?
Yeah, he should be okay. You know, I wonder if Bosch was playing shallow, expecting the bunt, and you back up first base, and then the ball's hit over his head as Twins change up. Let him swing. 2-0 pitch, and Benson hits it on the ground foul. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, when the ball went up the right field, I thought it was just a routine fly ball.
I did too, and maybe Cano did as well. Wasn't sure what happened out there. Two balls and a strike on Joliet Joe. That's called strike 2. The count levels it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now, yesterday's ball game, the Yankees won it 4-0, but they had an outburst. They scored 4 runs in the second inning, and that was it. Nobody scored runs for the rest of the game, either side, as the Yankees shut out the Boston Red Sox 4-0. 2-2 pitch to Benson, and nice stop by Cervelli. Kept that one from going all the way to the backstop, and the count is now full at 3-2. Nice athletic move.
Yeah, this is a good move by the catcher. This ball basically should have gotten by him. Quick feet.
Well, Phelps faced with a payoff pitch here with nobody out, 2 runners on.
Curious to see what he throws here. Sometimes when you're struggling with your fastball, it's good for a catcher to call a few breaking balls. It slows your delivery down to get your slot, your arm slot, or you can throw better strikes.
See where they go. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and it was a slider, but it misses, and it's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Nobody out for the Twins here in the 4th inning. They are threatening big time. That is the 3rd walk handed out by David Phelps. So Drew Butera will come to the plate. And we'll see if he has Phelps's number. Actually, he does. They both wear number 41.
You know, Drew played in the WBC with Team Italy.
Yeah, that's true.
So he had some at-bats.
Line drive into left field, and it's Butera who has Phelps's number. The Twins have scored at least 2, maybe 3. Here comes Benson. He's being waved home, and he will score. It's a 3-run double for Drew Butera, and the Twins break out. They lead 3-0. hopped on that first pitch.
Yeah, he got a pitch really good to hit on the inner half of the plate. Utera lined it in the left field. Ichiro getting after it. Bases loaded, clearing double.
You know, Lou, and let's see if you agree with me here. I always loved it when the guy in front of me drew a walk and it either loaded the base or put 2 men on, because the pitcher, struggling with his control, he's apt to throw one right down the middle, just try and regain the strike zone. And you got to be ready.
That's exactly what happened there.
And you got to be ready to hop on that first pitch, because usually it can be right down Broadway. So the Twins now lead at 3-0, and will bring up the number 9 hitter, Pedro Florman, the shortstop, who was called down on strikes in the 3rd inning. And he tries to bunt and fouls it off. He's trying to get Butera over the 3rd with 1 out. Twins playing some small ball.
Gardenhire likes to play that type of game. You know, they don't have the power they used to have. So they've got to do the little things.
That's inside for a ball to Florman.
Boy, in the past couple innings, Phelps is really missing his spots.
And his pitch count has suffered accordingly. Florman claimed on waivers from the Baltimore Orioles. It's a ground ball in the right field for a base hit. They're going to hold Butera at 3rd as Bosch gets the ball back into Cano. Still nobody out here in the 4th inning. Here's the Minnesota Twins scouting report, brought to you by Tri-Honda. And the Twins are breaking out here in the 4th inning. It's something they haven't been doing at home. They're not on target. They play at Target Field. But in the last 3 years, they have been out-homered, Lou, 242 to 167. And lack of power pitching, this is why they've struggled over the last couple of years. The lack of power hitting. They are the only staff in the major leagues last year that did not strike out at least 1,000 batters.
Yeah, it really puts an emphasis on having great defense. And if you don't, you're going to give up runs.
Well, they did turn 186 double plays that led to major leagues. So that's not necessarily a good thing. That means there's a lot of men on base.
A lot of men on base. A lot of opportunities to turn them.
Here's Aaron Hicks, who's grounded to second and ripped the double to the gap in right center field.
Well, you talk about the lack of power. Maurer would consistently hit into the mid-20s home run-wise in the Metrodome. In the past few years at Target Field, his home run production's gone down. So has Morneau's. But Willingham last year supplied some good power for him.
He was a good signing. He came over as a free agent. The Twins signed him, and you can see at Target Field how they've suffered being out hit, particularly for the home runs.
Yeah, it's not good when you're 19 under.
Now, the first year they did well. That was their first year in the new ballpark, and the last 2, not quite as well. Hicks takes a pitch outside. Here's another player they think a lot of. The count is 3 balls and no strikes. Let's see if they think enough of him to let him swing 3-0. We told you about Cano driving in 100 runs in A ball. Hicks scored 100 runs in Double-A ball last year. Runner goes and pitches a strike. The throw to second is not in time. A stolen base for Florman.
Boy, when a pitcher is struggling with his command, he tries to concentrate too much on the hitter, doesn't pay attention to the base runner. And the base runner here, as you can see, just gets a huge jump. And again, Cervelli makes a strong throw. Comes up throwing very nicely, very accurate. Base runner just stole the base on the pitcher.
Left foot got in ahead of the tag. Now it's a 3-1 count on Hicks. And he takes call strike 2. The count is now full at 3-2. See the pitch count. 20 in this inning. And there's still nobody out.
Yeah, it's been a struggle command-wise.
3-2 pitch is popped up into about medium to shallow center field. The runner is tagging at third. Butera. He's going to try and score. Here's the throw, and he's going to be safe. The ball goes back to the backstop, and Florimon will move over to third base.
Yeah, it's a nice strong throw from Gardner. Now Butera is a catcher. Obviously, he doesn't run as well as a speedy outfielder, but I'll tell you what, he moved pretty well. Yeah, here we go. Fly ball to center field. Gardner gets a good beat on it. Nice, quick, strong throw. Butera just beats it. Catcher Cervelli doesn't block it, and base runner advances to third base.
So now the Yankees are forced to bring the infield in. Give Hicks an RBI, and as the Twins take a 4-0 lead. Dozier's at the plate, fouls a pitch off. Strike one.
That's the type of small ball that you need to win some baseball games, Kenny.
Sacrifice flies, situational hitting. I'll tell you one thing, Butera runs better than his dad did.
He sure does. He swings the bat a little better, too.
When I see Sal, I'll make sure I tell him you said so. It pitches in here for a call strike. It's 0-2. I'll leave out the part that I said his son runs better than he does.
But he did. He moved down that third baseline pretty well for a catcher. Sure did.
No balls and 2 strikes on Dozier. Straightens him up, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
This will probably be Phelps' last inning, Kenny, with pitch count getting up as high.
And plus, he struggled this inning, and he's probably had to empty the tank trying to get out of trouble. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I've seen him pitch a few times this spring. He's always had outstanding command with that breaking ball, and today he's just missing with it, too.
Well, I think what you see is sometimes young pitchers, when they're struggling, they can't quite make it through. A veteran pitcher, we've seen Sabathia struggle sometimes, but somehow he gets the big out when he needs it. Gets out of the jam and keeps the Yankees in the game.
They have a better feel.
Yeah.
They change speeds probably a little more.
Andy Pettit does the same thing.
Andy is wonderful at it.
There's Juan Cedeno in the Yankee bullpen, left-handed.
Yeah, sometimes harder is not better. A little more movement.
Ground ball, chopped towards short. The runner holds. The throw to first is just in time. Nunez checked the runner at third, almost checked him too much, but then showed off the strong arm to throw out Dozier.
Girardi's coming out to the mound. It's a good play by Nunez. He checks the runner and good strong throw to first base.
So that's going to be it. David Phelps is done. Cedeno's coming in the ball game. We'll be right back with the rest of the top of the 4th. bullpen trying to pick up the third out here in the top of the fourth inning without any further damage. The Twins have a runner on second with 2 down. I'm making on third with 2 down. Clement has struck out, popped to third. Now facing a left-hander, and the first pitch slider misses outside for ball 1.
That was a little bit of a tough night for Phelps.
He was able to get out of jams in the second and third innings, but not here in the fourth. Low and away, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Cedeno signed by the Yankees as a minor league free agent. Originally started back in the Red Sox organization from the Dominican Republic. Spent some time in the independent leagues. Pitched for Rio Grande Valley, which kind of tells you that's in Texas somewhere. Two-0 pitch, and that misses. 3 balls and no strikes. Lou, I'm thinking if you're managing, you want your pitchers to come out of the bullpen throwing strikes.
Well, that's the formula. It doesn't happen all the time, unfortunately.
Well, it hasn't happened this time. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and there's a strike. It's 3-1.
Especially here in spring training when you bring in a young pitcher, a little nervous, trying to overthrow the ball. Not an easy situation.
No, well, basically, he's in charge of getting this third out here. Got a couple left-handed hitters. And he misses, walks the first one. And now the Twins have batted around here in the fourth inning.
Well, one good thing, he's got a good pitching coach. Larry Rothschild's got a lot of patience with these guys. Larry coached for me a couple times, Cincinnati and with the Cubs. He does a great job with the pitching.
By the way, on that throw to home plate by Brett Gardner, he was given an error as the ball got by not only Francisco Cervelli, but David Phelps as well. And the Yankees have 3 errors in tonight's game. Here's Chris Parmelee, the first baseman, who has struck out twice. That missed inside, ball 1. That didn't miss by much. Runners on the corners for the Minnesota Twins. They have scored 4 times here in the fourth inning.
Well, Girardi's given Cedeno a couple lefty hitters to get out.
Low and away, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. The formula's not working, Lou.
Well,
just 1 strike thus far.
That's what you want to see, these young pitchers in situations like this. See how they react, how they respond, see if they can throw strikes.
David Robertson. There's Mike Harkey, the pitching coach in the background.
Because if they don't do that, Kenny, they don't stay along. They don't stay around too long.
2-0 pitch, foul that played back to the screen. The count is 2-1. Mariano loosening up. That might mean he'll be in the game a little later on. You have to stick around and see.
Yeah, it's a good move by Joe. He's not going to bring in his ace or his setup guy with 2 outs in an inning, so he'll let them start the inning.
2-1 pitch to Parmelee, and he hits a ground ball to first and by Youkilis and into right field for a base hit. The Twins are going to pick up another run. Florimon scores. Going over to third is Clement, and it's now 5-0 Minnesota, and they're going to have at least 10 men hitting this inning. Five-run outburst.
Yeah, Parmelee just gets a pitch down and in, which left-hand hitters love to see. And he just drives it right by Youkilis at first base in the right field. Boy, lefties love that down and in fastball, don't they?
You know, you can lift and separate.
Yeah. Here comes that young man, Cano. Had 2 nice at bats so far tonight.
2 for 2, a couple of singles. Good stop by Cervelli.
He's had to work. Cervelli, he's had to work tonight.
You know what? His fingers have done a lot of work this inning. He's called a lot of pitches.
Good block. Boy, catcher's working. And work in spring training on blocking pitches. It pays big dividends for him.
You know, he's going to work some more on it because Tony Pena's back in camp, and he's in charge of the workouts for the catchers. He might have gotten a bit of a respite while Tony was away. Tony takes a lot of pride in blocking balls in the dirt. The 1-0 pitch is over the outside corner for a strike. It's 1-1. Twin signed Cano when he was 16 years old. Sweet 16. And he might be ready to burst upon the major league scene sometime this year.
He's a specimen.
1-1 pitch, fouled at the plate. He's got a good, quick, lively swing.
Yeah, he gathers really well at home plate. Gets that weight on that backside and throws those hands quite well.
He's also got a sore left foot. You know, he's so big and strong, they might have to check the ball. Forget him.
Yeah. Ooh, right off his instep.
Ooh, that's not good.
I'll tell you what, though, he gathers really, really nice. I can see where he can drive the ball.
You know, another thing, Lou, as he gets you know, more and more experience, and you rise up the ladder in an organization, ballparks get a little better, lighting gets better, it's easier to see the ball. Then you get the big leagues.
The pitchers are more around the plate.
Yeah. Swing and a miss on a changeup, and Cedeno gets him. So the Yankees finally get out of it here in the top of the fourth, but the Twins score 5 times. Steinbrenner Field. Now, earlier tonight, Meredith Arakovitz had a chance to catch up with Tony Pena, the winning manager for the WBC.
Tony, coming off a big World Baseball Classic win for the Dominican Republic, what was that like for you being the manager there and leading that team to a victory?
That was great. I think there was a great group of players that every day that would mean something. That would mean something for them, because they knew that coming in that we will represent our country. And whenever we met the first day, that was unbelievable. To me, there was a lot, and this meant a lot to me.
It's interesting because other teams didn't send major players and other teams didn't seem to have that same amount of pride. What do you think it is about that Dominican Republic team that they cared so much about doing well and representing their country well?
In the past, we have some history to do bad. And the group of players that we have, they don't want to go through what they went through before. And that was big. You see, I don't know if you saw a lot of emotion. Everybody went out and they want to do so good. They don't want to embarrass themselves, number one. And number two, they know that the whole country was watching them. And I think the whole country gave us a lot of great energy, positive energy, to we go out and compete every single day.
One guy that certainly didn't embarrass himself by any means was Robbie Cano. What impressed you most about him?
You know, Robbie was big because not only he played well, but also he became the leader of that team. He lead the way. I'm glad to have Robbie and Miguel Tejada that was get everybody together and tell them what was the purpose, why they was there. And he has an incredible series, not only with the bat, but also handling himself with the team.
Do you think for this team to be successful this year with the amount of injuries that they've had, he needs to step up and be more of a vocal leader this season? Or do you think he'll be okay if he continues to go on the way he's been going on and just kind of going out there and proving it on the field?
I know that he will do it because he is starting to grow into that. And sometimes players, we need time to know what is our role is. And definitely I think he will be more vocal with the ball club, and also he's going to lead the way.
Well, first of all, congratulations to Tony Pena and the Dominican team. They certainly played with a lot of heart, like Tony said. And, you know, Lou, it was a pleasure to watch that team play and perform in the WBC.
Yeah, they played with a lot of enthusiasm. They played to win. And Tony had a big part to do with it. He's very proud to represent his country. And 8-0. There's some good teams in that WBC.
You know, but I talked to him before the game, and he said if there's one thing he would change about it, you can't change much. They went 8-0. As Cano lines one to center field for a base hit. His good hitting continues. That's the first hit of the night for the Yankees. And it comes with one out here in the fourth inning. And welcome back, Robinson Cano. One thing he said he would change is that he'd like to have a little bit more time to get the team together. He'd like to have them get together 10 days before spring training, get to know each other and work out. He says not only applies for the Dominican team, but for the other teams as well, because the players all show up and they got like 1 day of practice, and then they have to play. Yeah,
it's a tough situation. There's no question about it. You look at all the different angles. The one good thing about it is every team they don't have an advantage.
Yeah.
Everybody's in the same situation. But you're right. If you can gather your team a week or so before, work them out, get to know them, you're much better off because of it.
Pitch to Euclid is high for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, the team from the Netherlands, they played well. I thought the Italian team represented their country too.
Yeah.
The United States team, I thought they'd go into the final round. But
the injury to David Wright didn't help you.
Didn't help him at all, no.
Because he was the hottest hitter. And then Mark Teixeira injured even before he got into a game. 2-0 the count on Euclid. And that is ball 3.
You know, talking about the Netherlands team, Bert Blyleven was a pitching coach.
Yeah.
And he's doing the game here for the Twins tonight.
Yeah. Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. You know, we talked about the good hitting the Twins organization has. How about some of their really, really good pitchers like Blyleven and Camilo Pascual?
Pedro Ramos, Jim
Cott. How about that?
Jim Mudcat Grant. Yeah.
Boy, I faced Jim Mudcat.
Yeah. Back, I think in the '65 World Series, Mudcat Grant won 2 games, and including the 6th game to keep the series going to Game 7. Of course, they ran into Sandy Koufax in Game 7, were shut out. Jim Cott got shut out.
Well, Mudcat, he came at you, and he had a really, really good slider. Really pinpoint control. And Batty, what a nice job he used to do with that pitching staff.
Earl Batty.
Mm-hmm.
The late Earl Batty. Here's Travis Hafner with 2 on and 1 out. The Yankees with their best threat of the night. Cano with a single, followed by a walk to Euclid. Liam Hendricks done a good job thus far for the Minnesota Twins. He's walked a couple, struck out a couple.
He's made some good pitches. In fact, the Cano at bat, he fouled off a couple really good pitches and lined the ball up the middle.
That's a sign of a good hitter. Outside for a ball to Hafner. Hafner has drawn one of those 2 walks.
I'm sure Joe Girardi would love to see Hafner turn on a pitch here.
Well, he's got the count in his favor. changeup swung on and missed. I've said it many times, Lou. I'm going to say it again. If you're teaching a youngster how to pitch, teach him a changeup. Here's Hafner. Last 5 seasons, injuries have gotten to him, and he hasn't been quite as productive. He had 4 years in a row with Cleveland, which he drove in over 100 runs. Off-speed pitch, check swing, and he fouls it off. 1-2.
Yeah, when he was in his game in Cleveland, those drums were really, really loud over there.
Yeah, John Adams beating those drums. It sounded like drums along the Mohawk.
Now, what would you be sitting on here, Kenny?
1 ball and 2 strikes. I'd be guarding the plate. I wouldn't mind getting jammed as long as I could fight it off and get it over the infielders for a base hit. You try not to strike out. Let's put it that way. Inside 2-2. Now the count starts to swing a little bit more in your favor. 2-2. The pitcher might come in with a better pitch to hit, and then it might be time to do business.
Well, he's got a pitch to work with.
Yeah, if he gets the 3-2, then it's either put up or shut up.
There you go. I'd be looking for an off-speed pitch here.
Yep.
No.
Drill the fastball. You foul it back.
Hendricks likes to pitch inside.
Yeah, I noticed that, but that can be dangerous, and maybe that's one reason he gave up 17 home runs in 87 innings last year, and thinking he can get it in there, and you don't quite get it in far enough. And hitters like Hafner, that ball comes up there with neon lights on it. High ball 3. 1 pitch away from loading the bases. Newcomer Brennan Bosch on deck.
I'd be aware of the off-speed pitch again if I were the hitter.
Here's the payoff pitch, and it's fouled back.
I tell you, his fastball is straight. Doesn't have much movement.
Yeah, that's another reason. That's another reason you can give up some homers. When a hitter goes to swing at it, it's right there. It's not going to change. Not going to move too much.
That ball didn't change planes or anything.
This is the first real jam that Hendricks has had in this game. He's kind of slowing things down. He's got Cano at second and Youkilis at first with 1 out. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's hit down the left field side. Going to be a long run for Benson, and it's off his glove. He missed it, and where'd the ball go? He can't find it. Cano's going to score. They're going to hold Youkilis at third. And that should be an error on the left field that allows the Yankees to get on the scoreboard. It's now 5-1.
Yeah, this ball here gets in on Hafner. Outfielder gets a good jump on it. But this is a play that a major league outfielder should make. Umpire right down the line makes a great call. That ball's in fair territory. And you're right. He can't believe he didn't catch it. There you go. Find it.
It's almost like something you'd see in a cartoon. Now you can see the runners reacting to the ball being missed. Cano's going to score from second. Youkilis is going to head to third, and Bosch gets into second on the error by the left fielder. So the Yankees are on the scoreboard. It's 5-1. Bosch is at the plate. I should say Hafner gets the second. Bosch is coming up to hit. And he pops it up. Off-speed pitch. Let's see if Butera has a play. Cano, the third baseman, calls for it and makes the catch for out number 2. Was that a changeup, Lou?
It was a changeup.
Yeah.
He probably is sitting on a fastball. I think he's trying to impress. Here's a pitch up in the zone, too. This is actually, it's a pretty good pitch to hit.
Yeah.
He was out in front of it. But Bosch trying to impress. He just joined the team. Good time to hit a ball in the gap and just popped it up. But again, that was a good pitch to hit. Any time that a pitcher threw me a changeup up in my eyes a little bit,
yeah, I remember.
I liked it.
Yeah, I remember. Here's Eduardo Nunez, now 2 outs in second and third.
Here I watched Nunez taking batting practice today, and I was really impressed with his work ethic in batting practice. He was hitting everything to right center field, staying inside the ball, and finally on his last few swings he started to pull the ball a little bit. So let's see if he uses this approach here, driving a couple runs.
Slider hits the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1.
He's another young man that made some nice comments today that he's probably pressing a little bit too, trying to do too much.
He's getting more of a chance to play shortstop with Jeter being injured for quite a bit of the spring. Ground ball to the left side for Florimon. And there's the throw to first, and that's going to do it for the Yankees here in the 4th inning. They do pick up a run. At the end of 4, it's 5-1 Minnesota. Scoreboard, it's 5-1 Minnesota. They're leading the Yankees, and of course top of the 5th means that manager Joe Girardi is going to join us. And Joe, welcome.
Hello, guys.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, we hear that music in the background, and that signals every Yankee fan knows that music. Mariano Rivera is coming in the ball game.
Yeah, it's a little early though. That's the only problem in spring training. But that's the way it goes when you've done what he's done in the game.
Mariano's had pitched in 3 games. Has yet to give up a hit. And he looks pretty good this spring.
Yeah, he has. And the other day he threw 2 innings down in minor league camp. And I think he threw about 29, 30 pitches. So that was good for him as well. So he's done really well.
Let's talk about Mr. Phelps tonight, who started the game. It looked like, well, he had 6 strikeouts in 3 innings, but he didn't look quite as sharp tonight as he has in the past.
No, I didn't think he had the command that he's had in the past. And he got some long counts. And his pitch count built up really quickly, and when that happens, your stuff's not going to be as good.
Didn't get his breaking ball over the plate either.
No, and his curveball is really important because that's that's almost like a changeup for him in a sense, and to change speeds. And I thought he threw a lot of fastballs and a lot of cutters, which is the same speed, and it's not much of an adjustment for the hitters.
Pitch is low, 2 balls and no strikes. Now, Joe, how happy are you to get Robinson, Cano, and Tony Pena back on the club?
Oh, it's nice to have them back. Their vacation's over. They got to see the countries, and they got to see Puerto Rico and Miami and San Francisco. Now it's time to come back to work. So it's good to have them back. But they did a tremendous job. I'm happy for Tony. I'm happy for Robbie, and congratulations to the Dominican team.
Did you get a chance to watch any of the games?
I did watch some of them. Tony had some kind of bullpen. He had a 4-inning game is what he had. And then he turned it over to the bullpen, and it was over.
I think in their last 25 2/3 innings, they didn't give up a run.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. And you know, if you can do that in that type of a tournament, you're probably going to win the tournament.
And Joe, is Robbie really going to Fort Myers tomorrow?
Yeah, he's going to go and play a few innings, and then he'll have Saturday off, and maybe he'll have Sunday off. We'll give him a few days off, and then he'll be back at it on Tuesday.
Yeah, he looks pretty good up at home plate, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he had all kind of hits in that WBC, and they were pitching around him, and he still hit the ball well. So, I mean, I think Robbie's pretty ready to go.
Line drive, right field's going to be in there for a base hit. That's the first hit Mariano's given up this spring as Darren Mastriani gets a base hit. You know, you're talking about Robbie. He did set a record for the most hits during the WBC. He had 15 hits, Joe.
Yeah, and that's a lot of hits. And, you know, they didn't play a ton of games either. I think they played, what, 9 games?
8.
Maybe 8 games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for Robbie to have 15 hits, and, you know, I saw where they pitched around him in one game. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Now, you spoke of the Dominican Republic bullpen. Fernando Rodney of the Tampa Bay Rays saved 7 of those games.
I mean, they only had one really offensive outburst, and that was against the Italians. I think where they scored 9 runs, but all their games were close. Well, they beat the Americans 2-1.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of 2-0 games, 3-1s, and they pitched very well.
So we're going to have to ask Joe Madden when he gets here. Is he happy that Rodney had a chance to get that many saves? Is he going to take something out of it?
Well, he worked about every other day when you think about it, and that's what you would do in spring training. So, I mean, I'm sure Joe is probably okay with that. You know, maybe through one more game than he would have in the time that he was here. But, you know, it's not like he had to work back-to-back days ever.
Now, we saw David Robertson warming up a little bit earlier. Is he scheduled to be in there tonight?
Yeah, I think we have him in. I thought Epley was up.
We saw Robertson.
Oh, no, he is going to be up. He'll probably be in next, I would guess.
Okay, all right. Now, how about pitchers and bullpen working back-to-back games as we get ready for the season?
Yeah. We will do that. We'll start to do that. Job has done it. I think Robertson's done it already. Some of our, you know, Booney has not done it. Some of our other relievers, I think Epley has done it. I think Spence has done it. So some of these guys are starting to do it now, and we'll continue it as we move forward here.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Larry Rothschild, when he was my pitching coach, would always insist on, that we pitched our relievers a couple times back-to-back games.
Yeah, I think it's important because you have to know how, you know, that really tells you where they're at from a condition-wise and where they are pitching. It's good. Looked like a good cutter inside.
It really was.
It just, you know, if they can bounce back and have the same stuff the next day, you feel pretty good about them starting the season.
Yeah, Joe, we're looking at the replay. Yeah, that was a cutter that kind of tied up the hitter, Joe Benson.
Yeah, you think it's going to be a ball, and all of a sudden it has that late cut, and it's a strike, and it's one of those emergency hacks. That's what we call it. But, you know, I'd like to give a little shout out to my daughter Serena, who's home.
Yeah.
Watching this game tonight. She has a fever. She broke her middle finger tumbling and cheerleading, and
oh boy,
it's been kind of a rough week.
Well, hopefully she's feeling better, Joe, and certainly I know she is now when she got the best wishes from her dad.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing her in about a week and a half.
Week and a half? You're speaking week and a half. We're getting close to the regular season now. Is there anything you'd like to see the club get going here?
Well, you just want to see guys go back to back to back. You know, I'm doing some of the position players here 3 days in a row for me. And I always thought it was important that, you know, I felt for me physically that I was able to go back to back to back. Not necessarily go the 9 innings, but you go 3 times at 7 innings. I felt like I was ready to go and play every day.
Now, let me ask you this. And speaking of back to back to back, how concerned are you with Derek Jeter not being able to perform that as of yet?
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about that. We're going to get him out on the field to do some stuff tomorrow, and hopefully we can get him in a game soon and we can get some back-to-backs out of him and feel better about it.
Well, one thing with Derek, but the other injuries you've had, you don't really want to rush him back and have a setback. So.
No, you don't. And the other thing that you're going to see him do for a while is probably playing some minor league games. So if he's not ready, you can possibly backdate, you know, guys on the DL if they're not ready to go. So another good pitch by Mo, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, it looks like.
You know, Joe, I managed all those years, and I didn't realize the DL rule at the end of spring training.
Yeah, you can backdate it. So we'll try to get him going maybe by the end of the weekend.
Thank God I had good general managers.
Yeah. Well, we get so concerned about, you know, picking our team and making decisions about players and where we think guys are at. I don't get caught up in too many of those rules either. There's a lot of rules that the GMs have to pay attention to.
Now, Lou and I earlier in the game were talking about how difficult it is to find a utility player. And we were also talking about it when Jason Nix had come up to hit, and we explained what he means to the team. What does he mean to you, Joe?
He means a lot because he can play anywhere. I mean, you can stick him in the infield anywhere, you can stick him in the outfield, and that's not easy to do. And very seldom do you see a utility guy, a young player, a real young player, 22, 23 years old, because they're used to playing one position. So Nixie has played a lot of different positions and gives us a lot of versatility.
That's a good point, Joe. Usually that utility role is associated with an older player that's more experienced, and he's been through the ropes a little more.
Right, and he's not an everyday player, and he might, if you're in the National League, you might, get a double switch where you go to second one day, short one day, and that sort of thing.
Mariano trying to pick up his 3rd straight strikeout, and Florimon fights one off, and it seems like the crowd's getting into this at bat, Joe.
Yeah, I think they're relishing Mo, knowing that Mo announced that he's going to retire after the year. So I think they're loving it.
It should be interesting to see how the rest of the league reacts to him as well.
There'll be a lot of happy players, I know that.
Well, there's a happy manager, I know, after 3 straight strikeouts. Joe, thank you very much. We'll see you on Sunday.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Mariano Rivera, 3 consecutive strikeouts. It's still 5-1 Minnesota. And the Chevy Cruze. Cruze offers an EPA estimated 38 miles per gallon based on EPA estimates. Visit fueleconomy.gov for details. By IMG Academy Youth Sports Camps and Private School. Become more at IMG Academy. And by Acura. Acura Advance. Some Yankee fans enjoying the game tonight. Certainly enjoying the efforts of Mariano Rivera. It seemed like that leadoff single kind of ticked him off.
I'll tell you what, he's a competitor, even in spring training. I think that's the first base hit he's given up all spring.
Yeah, but 3 consecutive strikeouts, and that base hit didn't bother him. New pitcher for the Minnesota Twins is Cole DeVries. And he's facing Jason Nix, who hits one on the ground to third, backhanded by Cano, and across the diamond, and there's one out here in the 5th.
But what a thrill for these fans to come in and see Mariano pitch, especially the people that live here in Florida. They're going to get probably their last chance in spring training to see Rivera pitch.
Well,
they cherish him.
They certainly got all jacked up while he was in there. DeVries has a chance. He and Hendricks are kind of fighting for the 5th spot in the rotation. That's why they're both pitching in the same game. They're going to split the difference.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
When we had decisions to make on young pitchers, we would try to pitch them in the same game.
Hendricks went 4 innings, allowed 1 run on only 1 hit. Struck out 2 and walked 2 against the Yankees today.
I was impressed with him.
And that 1 run was unearned because of the error. Good breaking ball, but it misses the strike zone. 2 balls and no strikes on Francisco Cervelli. Cervelli hit a long fly ball to the warning track in left field that was run down by Joe Benson. That was in the 3rd inning.
You know, they've stolen a few bases.
A high towering fly ball to left center. We'll see who's going to make the play here. It's going to be Benson again. And he drops this one. They say he caught it. Well, he's having some problems out there tonight. They say he had it long enough for the out.
Well, he's trying to catch the ball with one hand with his glove. Easy ball. He's under it. He missed the interchange. I'll tell you what.
He's still moving.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you. You've got to get that ball out of your hand or out of your glove.
Somebody's going to have a talk with him.
That's one of the reasons that as an outfielder, I never truthfully liked that one-handed approach.
Doink.
Oops.
Here's Gardner.
And you're right. You know, those are easy plays, but you can't nonchalant them like that.
What would Billy Martin say to you if you did something?
Boy.
Huh?
Well, he wouldn't be too pleased, obviously. He'd have a conversation as soon as you got in the dugout. You know, Billy was easy to play for, but he wanted you to do things the right way. Use the right mechanics, play hard. And this one-handed approach is fine, but
you better make the play.
You got to make the play, exactly.
Gardner draws a 4-pitch walk, and he's on with 2 outs. There's Ron Gardenhire.
Yeah, Gardenhire basically is the same. He's a no-nonsense type guy.
Yeah. You got to play the right way.
You got to play the right way for him. Well, you know, the other manager before Gardenhire was Tom Kelly, and he had the same type of approach. Play the game the right way. Play it hard.
And Benson's known as a good outfielder. That's the thing. Here's Ichiro, who's 0 for 2, grounded out, lined out, high and away for ball 1.
I wonder if the lights playing here at night has anything to do with it. Have the Twins played any night games this year or this spring?
I'm sure they have. I mean, I know the lights aren't what you would see at the Major League Stadium, but geez, come on, Lou.
Easy play.
Yeah.
In fact, both of them were easy plays. The ball that down the left field line was a very catchable ball, too.
I'm not acting as if I'd never dropped the ball. I've dropped them in the outfield. I got screamed at, too.
Well, I remember the only year I made the All-Star game as a player. Earl Weaver was the manager.
Oh, that must have been fun. Ball is lined to the shortstop, Florimon, who leaps and makes the catch. It was fun for me for 8 years. Still 5-1 Minnesota. welcome your family, friends, or business associates to Yankee Stadium for a group outing and enjoy Yankee baseball in an individual game suite. Individual game suites can accommodate groups as small as 12 and up to 382 guests with all-inclusive food and non-alcoholic beverage packages. Make your special occasion legendary. Call 212-YANKEES or log on to Yankees.com/suites today. Some changes for the Yankees. Gil Velasquez takes over at second base, replacing Robinson Cano. And the Yankees also have a new pitcher in the ball game. It's going to be David Robertson, who comes in and replaces Mariano Rivera. And joining us in the booth, and it's going to be Jack Curry. Hi, Jack.
Kenny, Lou, how are you guys doing?
We're doing pretty well. You know, outside of the one inning that the Yankees just, it was sort of like the inning they had yesterday when they scored 4 times. The Twins scored 5 times today in the 4th inning. The first pitch to Aaron Hicks is a called strike. Now, Jack, we saw David Phelps start the game tonight, and we've seen him in various roles with the Yankees. What are the Yankees? Where is he on the burner this year?
Brian Cashman talked about him before the game, and he was asked that question, and he said that's what gives Phelps so much value, is that you can use him in multiple roles, whether it's the bullpen or the rotation. But with the way Phil Hughes is coming along, Kenny, I actually think that Phelps has a very good chance to start the season in the rotation. They're bringing Hughes back slowly from that back injury, and there's no sense in rushing him because you have Nova, you have Phelps, you have guys who can fill in that 4 and 5 spot. Phil Hughes misses 1 start to begin the season. I think the Yankees would rather be cautious, and that's where Phelps has value. You have a guy who can slide right into that role.
Now, is it Girardi, Joe Girardi, manager, on the same wavelength?
Yeah, Joe Girardi talked about the attitude, and we see right there the curveball getting the strikeout for David Robertson. Back-to-back outings here for Robertson, so he's testing himself in spring. But Girardi, 2 years ago, Kenny, he said that Phelps kind of came in to camp almost as a kid who was happy to be here. Last year he came in and competed, and Girardi said this year he's come in and felt as if he belongs. So you've seen the evolution of a pitcher, and obviously success has a lot to do with that. He was successful at the major league level. He should come in this spring and feel as if he belongs.
So Aaron Hicks has struck out, and Brian Dozier will take it doesn't look like Dozier. Looks like a replacement. Escobar is now.
Yeah, your first major league camp, you're wondering if you belong. And after a couple of them, like you mentioned, after some success, it's a comforting fact. You know you belong there, and you compete that way.
You know, and this is kind of the old school way, Jack, of bringing a pitcher into your rotation. You start him out in the bullpen, then let him work his way through. He's had success, and he's kind of earned his way into the rotation. Some guys nowadays are just you're a starter. Let's go.
Well, the organization that you played for, the Orioles, did that as well as any organization in baseball.
It's because Earl didn't trust him.
Well, I remember talking to Phelps about that last year, and it's a dumb question, but you ask it. A guy who's a starter, you want to start at AAA, or do you want to be the last man in the bullpen at the major league level? You want to be the last man in the bullpen at the major league level.
Now, with the absence of Derek Jeter, it looks like he might not play another a game in the major league spring training. So the Yankees have the option of DLing him. You've got Eduardo Nunez at shortstop. And Eduardo's already got more playing time at short than he probably would have gotten it if Jeter were healthy. What does he think about playing every day?
I was impressed yesterday, Kenny, when he spoke after the news about Jeter and the fact that Jeter probably won't play anymore. Well, yesterday was probably, now it's definite. Nunez just has a confidence about him this spring that I didn't see last spring. And he even said if there are any doubters out there or people who don't believe in me, they're wrong. I'm not going to listen to those doubters. He said Jeter has been one of his biggest supporters, and Jeter has said to him, you're athletic enough, you're talented enough to play shortstop. You just have to believe it yourself and go out there and do it. And we've talked about what he's done with his throwing motion, but I do think that getting out there and being in more of a rhythm should help him defensively.
David Robertson has struck out the first 2 hitters that he's faced here in the 6th inning. Ground ball, and it's hit hard down the right field line. Looks like this is going to be an extra base hit for Clement. Rounds first, on his way for second as Bosch gets the ball out of the corner. And it's going to be a 2-out double for Jeff Clement. Keeps the inning going.
Well, we talked about it before, Kenny. These left-hand hitters love that ball down and in. And that's exactly where this pitch was. Clement's turn on it. Yeah, here's a pitch now. Catcher sitting on the inside part of the plate. Ball down and in, right in the wheelhouse.
Quick wristed down the right field line for the hit. You know, one thing what Nunez brings not only to the lineup, if the Yankees are going to need various ways of scoring this year, and that's going to have to include somebody who can run, and that's what Nunez brings as far as I'm concerned.
I think you're right. I think a full season of Gardner, a full season of Ichiro, those are the types of things they're going to have to do offensively to generate more offense. You're right, and Nunez is right in that same mold.
And I think you're right too, Jack. When you mentioned the more he plays, the more confidence he's going to get.
Absolutely. I mean, you go back to the postseason. I know it was a small sample size, but he had some of the best at-bats the Yankees had against the Detroit Tigers pitching in that ALCS.
There weren't many of them. That pitch is in there for strike 2. Parmalee in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and here in spring training, what you don't want to see him do, though, is press. Just let it happen. Don't force it. Maintain your confidence.
You know, he is, you have to remember, he is playing one of the toughest positions on the field. Maybe people would tell you it's the toughest. Line drive, makes the play. Line drive right at Nunez. How apropos was that? That's the end of it for the Twins here in the 6th. They pick up a hit, nothing else. They lead 5-1. The Brooklyn Nets pay a visit to Lob City to take on the sensational Chris Paul and the Clippers. Coverage on Yes starts at 10 with the Verizon Files pregame. Then Chris Carino and Mike Fratello are at the Staples Center to follow all the action only on Yes. Last night, the Nets took out the Dallas Mavericks. Brook Lopez with 38 and Darren Williams with 31. All kinds of fun. 5-1. Twins are leading the Yankees, bottom of the 6th inning. Jack Curry is with Lou Piniella and myself here in the booth. And Jack, yesterday you started a story. You weren't able to finish it. And we certainly want to get back to it. It involved Ichiro and an all-star game in Japan.
Right, 1996 all-star game, Central League against the Pacific League in Japan. And 2 outs in the 9th inning. Ichiro's manager brings him in to pitch from the outfield. He told me that they played 3 all-star games. They wanted to keep the enthusiasm and the excitement up, so they brought in Ichiro to try and have a little entertainment value. He was supposed to face Hideki Matsui. Now you can find this on YouTube. You see Matsui in the on-deck circle kind of has this amused look on his face. I'm going to get to face Ichiro. Well, Matsui's manager wanted none of it. He was an old-school guy, thought it was disrespectful to the game, and put up a pitcher to pinch hit for Matsui. So Ichiro told me once they put up the pitcher, I couldn't throw my hardest. He said he could throw 93. He threw about 87, 88, got the pitcher to ground out to shortstop, and that ended the ball game.
That's Gil Velasquez grounding out.
No, he would have preferred the strikeout.
He also would have preferred to face Matsui.
No
He wanted the challenge. And the pitcher was Takatsu, who later pitched for the White Sox. So he came over to the States as well. But Ichiro just was bursting with enthusiasm as he told me this story. It's a 17-year-old story, but I loved every element of it. I loved watching it on YouTube and getting the chance to see what he looked like. I said to him, your glove was almost as big as you. He said, yeah, outfielder's glove. I had a big outfielder's glove out there.
He's an interesting guy. There's no question.
Here is Dan Johnson swinging and missing for
When he
strike
came
one.
over from Japan to join our team in Seattle, I would communicate with him in Spanish. Well, a lot of the Latin players played in Japan. And he learned to speak some Spanish. So I didn't speak Japanese, and he didn't speak much American. So we communicated in Spanish, and we, you know, the interpreter got into it from time to time too.
That's, well, there's, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, you got to talk to the guy, right? You're his manager.
He does not do any interviews in English. He prefers to do them in Japanese, but you can have a conversation with him in English as well. He just prefers to have the translator there. In fact, when I told him today that we were talking about the All-Star game, he got a big smile, and that was all in English. But when I did an interview with him for a story that appeared on YesNetwork.com, he preferred to have the translator there.
Well, I talked to him in English today. He told me, he says, how you doing, old man?
What was your response? Doing fine?
Well, you know, I told him I was doing fine, but at least I started by saying, how are you doing, young fella? See, so I was respectful.
So he wasn't. Call, strike three. Johnson called out on strikes. 2 up and 2 down for the Yankees here in the 6th inning.
He looks good. He really does.
He's had a good spring.
What a pro.
So, you know what I'm thinking about this matchup now? Aren't they taking liberties with 2 of the best players that they have? You got a guy who's got a great throwing arm, great outfielder in Ichiro. You got probably the best hitter since Sada Haruo in Japan. And what if one gets away and, you know, or he hurts his arm?
I'm telling you what, though, Kenny, I'm not a pitching coach, but if you go to YouTube and watch this video, just put in Ichiro All-Star Game, he actually had a pretty fluid motion. He had pitched in high school over in Japan, so he looked pretty good out there. I think your point is correct, though. What if he hurts his arm? What if he's not there for the rest of the year? But his manager was his regular season manager was managing the All-Star team, so he was all for it. This guy was an entertainment type manager. He wanted to see the excitement, and they showed the fans in the stands were loving it when they thought Ichiro was going to face Matsui.
Now, managers over here have gotten in trouble for bringing in position players. Let's see, Jose Canseco. Towards he needed Tommy John surgery after pitching. Of course, Buck Showalter last year brought in Chris Davis in the game in the 17th inning. He had nobody else, and he was the winner. He pitched 2 innings.
Lou, is there always a guy that you sort of have as that one guy who you know you would go to in that spot?
You always ask the pitching coach to go around and talk to the position players, and if a game gets out of hand or goes too long and you're out of pitching, who can we use?
Well,
and the only thing I ask, we don't want a knuckleballer.
Yeah. From what I understand, Chris Davis volunteered. He told Buck Showalter he had pitched in college. High fly ball to right field and deep. Going back is the right fielder Boggs. He's at the track and makes the catch. Hafner gave it a ride, but not far enough. Yankees go in order in the 6th. It's on to the 7th. left for the top of the 7th with Minnesota leading the Yankees by a score of 5-1. And you can see the gentleman on your left there wearing a Hope Week T-shirt. Jack, the Yankees have made an announcement as far as the upcoming Hope Week this year.
They have, Kenny. They started Hope Week in 2009. They're going to do it again in 2013. They've done it every year since 2009. What they basically do is they find people or groups who do acts of goodwill toward others. And what they want to do is they want to spotlight those folks and do some goodwill towards them. Those people that we're seeing right now with the Hope Week T-shirts on and the caps, they were guests of the Yankees tonight because they are part of an organization that flies sick individuals, whether it's home, whether it's to an appointment that they're not able to travel to. There never was a group that was able to fly somebody who couldn't walk onto a plane, non-ambulant people who just couldn't get themselves there. So though that group of people are able to do that, and it's a great organization, and they will be one of the groups that the Yankees are going to honor this year. It's a very nice thing. Ken Gwill is the individual, one of the 4 people that we showed right there. Their group is called Missions Made Possible. It started in February in 2005. They do a really nice job. And the Yankees seek out these great stories, like I said, and they want to spotlight those people and do nice things for them.
Fly ball off the bat of Manny Barrera, and there's one out. He's in there for Miguel Cano. On the Ford scoreboard, it's Minnesota leading by a score of 5-1. The Yankees only have 1 hit tonight.
And Kenny, one final note on Hope Week, and we could talk about it for the entire inning if we wanted to, but they'll do it during that week. We showed the date, and they'll have the people at the stadium for 5 straight days. If the Yankees win, they get to go on the field and they get congratulated, and they congratulate the players. But here's one little part of it that's interesting. When the Yankees have done Hope Week, their record during those games, 13-6. So that's a pretty good record.
Well, the players get involved with the folks that the Yankees are highlighting during Hope Week. In fact, that group of people I talked to before the game, they're from Orlando, Florida.
And they're Yankee fans.
Yeah.
The lady wanted to wear my 1977 World Championship ring, and she took a couple pictures with it.
You get the ring back?
I got it back.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there were 3 pilots, 1 nurse, and what they do is they take these Mission Made Possibles aircraft and they transport non-ambulatory patients using specialized FAA-approved stretchers. And they told me it's a big deal to not be able to walk on a plane by yourself. So you have to have a nurse there, and you have to have someone who's always present to be able to make sure that the safety and health of the person being transported is of utmost importance. And they talked to me about how important it was when you land that plane and you see the family members waiting for the person. They said they get tears in their eyes seeing how happy the family members are to see that person make it there safely.
Well, certainly a good cause in helping out people who are less fortunate than they are. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Brandon Boggs here. And he pops one foul and out of play.
And Kenny, when the Yankees started this behind Jason Zillow, the Yankees PR director, and he has a lot of people working with him in doing this, he was hoping that other groups, organization would adopt it. Not only do the Yankees minor leaguers also do a version of Hope Week, the Twins, this organization that the Yankees are playing today, they were so impressed with what the Yankees did, they decided to do their own version of it as well. So it's goodwill begetting more goodwill. So no one can argue with that.
Yeah, well, hopefully more teams will get involved with it during the course of Major League seasons. And good cause. Community service, if you will. 2-2 pitch on the way, and it's just off the outside corner.
Boy, Archman that's out there pitching for the Yankees. At one time, this young man got it up there in the high 90s.
He's coming back from Tommy John surgery. 3-2 pitch, and it's swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 down. The Yankees have made some changes defensively. Ichiro's still in there. Melky Mason moves to center. Brennan Bosch is still in right field. Nick's still at third. Walter Ibarra is now at shortstop. Gil Velasquez, we told you about him. He took over last inning for Robbie Cano. Dan Johnson's at first, and Austin Romine's now doing the catching. That's how the Yankees line up defensively. So Archman's done a good job here. 2 up and 2 down. You know, Jack, you wonder where Archman fits in the scheme of things for the Yankees.
I was just about to say the Yankees adding him last year, knowing that he would have to rehab, but hoping to reap the benefits of that in 2013. And I tell you what, as Lou said, he throws hard. Now, he's maybe not throwing 97, 98 right now, but a guy who can come in with that kind of power fastball out of the bullpen, if he's healthy, there is a spot for him. I mean, the Yankees would love to have Aardsma at his best to just give Joe Girardi one more weapon coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, another pitcher we've seen has been Sean Kelly, and you wonder where he fits as well. Both of them have excellent stuff.
Well, it's a good problem to have, though, Kenny.
Popped up. Let's see if Johnson has room. He does, right near the camera. Makes the play. 1, 2, 3 for the Minnesota Twins here at the top of the 7th. Johnson drifting, and makes the play for the final out. Long fly ball off the bat of Brennan Bosch to lead it off for the Yankees here in the 7th, but it's run down by Aaron Hicks in center field. So there's one out. That ball almost 400 feet away.
Good swing. Good power swing. He got all of it. Air's a little heavy tonight. Not that ball would have carried out of the ballpark. And Hicks, a center fielder. What a nice play.
You know, Jack, I understand you had a chance to talk with Brendan Bosch's father.
I did. Philip Bosch is a lawyer in Los Angeles, and reached out to him, and we only spoke briefly because it was a day we actually had a game and we were on the air. But you could tell the excitement in his voice about his son getting a new opportunity with the Yankees, and we did talk about his swing and whether that, and Ken and Louis just talked about it, about that swing, but whether his swing could be a nice match for Yankee Stadium. And of course, as a dad, he said that's what we're hoping for. So the Yankees see Bosch as a guy who could be productive for them, and they hope can help bridge that gap until they get the Grandersons and the Teixeiras back.
Well, it's a much easier ballpark for him to hit in than Tiger Stadium. Tiger Stadium is huge. And the other thing about Bosch, he's got a .367 career batting average in Yankee Stadium. So I think Brian Cashman probably knew that when he made the deal.
Here's Walter Ibarra, who took over at short for Eduardo Nunez. Nunez said fly to center, grounded to short. Yankees only have one hit tonight. Look out, and I think that got a piece of Ibarra. Yep, he's headed to first base. HBP. In a way, that's the Yankees' second hit of the night. Cano had a single to center and scored the only run back in the fourth inning.
Catcher sitting down and away, and the ball's up and in. I don't know if that ball got him or not, Kenny.
I thought I heard something, and sometimes, you know, you'll take a base when you haven't been hitting. Huh? Let's listen. Yeah, a little click. There's something there. Jason Nix takes a breaking ball in the dirt from Chris DeVries. I make that Cole DeVries.
He's shown a good curveball here the last couple innings.
Fans are reminded this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. You have to do that at least once a game. Here's a strike, 1-1. You know, Nix comes into Yankee camp as a non-roster player. And Lou and I were talking about how hard it is to find a utility player. This pitch is hit in the air to right center field, hit pretty well. On the move is Hicks again, and he makes the catch. Showing a strong arm to first, and it's a double play. This is why the Twins love this center fielder. This is why Ben Revere and Denard Span are playing in other places. Aaron Hicks, great running catch and a strong throwing arm. But it's not an out. Let's see what they called here. They're going to allow Ibarra to go down to second base for reasons that are unknown to us at this moment. I guess timeout had been called.
There's Mark Carlson.
Now, why is he going to second base if timeout had been called?
Was it a balk?
Probably.
That's the only explanation.
Yeah, because
for a runner to advance.
Yeah.
And hitter to get another chance.
And for us not to go to commercial. It's got to be a big reason for us not to go to commercial.
And for Aaron Hicks to lose that gold glove type play that he made.
Wow.
He still made it, though. We all saw it.
Yeah, we did.
We're not
see
erasing
it.
that.
You get the feeling he's going to be the Twin center fielder on opening day.
And I'll tell you what, leading the team in home runs and in RBIs, I wonder how long he'll be leading off.
Swing and a foul tip. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Nix.
He's a kid that can grow into the middle part of the lineup.
Now, he played last year at Double-A New Britain. And the Twins might be thinking he doesn't need to see Rochester, New York. That's where their Triple-A club is.
A lot of the good prospects organizations make the jump right from Double-A to the big leagues.
And it's a product of being with the right organization. If they feel they needed some pitchers, and that's why they traded Span and traded Ben Revere. Ground ball towards third on the backhand. The throw in the dirt is in time.
Nice play.
That was Manny Barreto with the play at third. He took over for Sando.
Yeah, it's a tough little play. It's an in-between hop. Good hands. Bounces it over to first base. Made it look easy, Jack.
Really was a very nice play, very strong play.
Yeah, it was a tough play for this young man.
So there are two down. So there was a balk call. And that's why Ibarra's at second. And that play made by Hicks was superseded by the balk. Here's Romine with his first at bat at night. Cervelli was 0 for 2, flat out twice to left field. Austin Romine had been sent to the minors, but coming over tonight right down the street. And I'll tell you that the youngsters love to get a chance to play in the big league games. Pitches in the dirt.
Kenny, one of the themes before we came to spring training was the catching competition, and it really ended up not being much of a competition for Romine because the Yankees want him to get some seasoning at AAA, but I do think the competition starts for him when he gets to Scranton, because I think if he shows enough at Scranton, there's a chance he will join the team this year. I think he realizes that, but he just didn't have enough time at AAA that the Yankees were ready to give him a chance to start in the majors this year.
Hicks is on the run again. Let's see if he can run this one down. He does. Another nice play by Hicks in center. Now there are 3 outs. Look for Hicks at target field. Thanks a lot, Jack. We appreciate it. Tri-State area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. By Poland Spring brands, sourced only from carefully selected natural springs. More better. And by Honda. Get a great deal during the really big spring event. Now at your Honda dealer. Some more changes defensively for Joe Girardi and pitching coach Larry Rothschild. New pitcher in the ballgame. We'll start with him, and it's going to be Boone Logan, making just his second appearance of the spring. He was bothered by a tender elbow, but he's made one appearance, and he came out pretty well. 2 strikeouts in 1 inning, gave up a hit, and he'll be doing the pitching here in the 8th inning for the Yankees.
Yeah, Ken, it is an important piece for Joe Girardi and the Yankees in the bullpen. Joe likes that matchup, and Logan certainly allows him that opportunity. I like this young man. He can compete, can get both sides of the plate out. Got a good breaking ball.
Starts Butera off with a fastball, and he pops it up into short center field. Let's see who's going to make the play. Looks like the shortstop Ibarra, and he makes the catch. 1 pitch and 1 out. Here's Ronier Mastilia. He's now playing third base. Let's look back as he ran into the railing here, and he actually had to miss a couple of days. You can see the knees hitting a, I know it's padded, but still, that's metal underneath that padding, and he had to walk off the field with some help. But he's back in there tonight. And then a few days later, when he got back in the lineup over in Clearwater, he almost ran into the Hooters girl down the third baseline chasing a foul ball.
Well, it's not a bad way to get hurt.
Yeah. A semi-soft landing. Here's a pitch from ball 1 to Ray Olmedo. Olmedo taking over for Florimon. Not a bad way to get hurt. Hi, my name is Ronier.
I'll tell you what, Kenny, that Aaron Hicks, that was impressive.
Ooh.
Watching that young man patrol center field. Right center, left center, and straight away center.
Olmedo takes one upstairs, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
And how about that throwing arm?
Oof, right on the money,
threw a
too.
strike.
On a play that didn't count. You know, I'm thinking Twin fans, the Twins are opening at home this year for the first time in a long time. Usually it's they think of the weather up in Minnesota in early April.
What do you think, mid-40s?
If they're lucky if they get that. Let's see who are the Twins playing. They are playing the Detroit Tigers. So you might be looking for Aaron Hicks to warm things up for the Twins. It pitches popped back near the screen. Coming back is Romine. He can't get it. And we didn't see him hit right-handed tonight. He's a switch hitter.
Well, he was awfully impressive from the left side.
Well, he's up next. Check swing. Did he go around? No, says the first base umpire.
Well, talking to a few of the Minnesota people before this ball game, they said that they liked a few of their young players, and I'll tell you what, they've been impressive.
Yeah, Hicks is at the top of the lineup. He might be on the top of that list. Three balls and 2 strikes on Olmedo. Boone Logan deals, and it's low and away for ball 4. So there's 1 on with 1 out. Fans, tomorrow night, don't miss a new Forbes Sports Money with March Madness upon us. New Big East Commissioner Mike Oresco talks about the big changes to the conference and how they affect the schools and television rights. It's a new Forbes Sports Money tomorrow at 9, only on Yes. Well, we will get a chance to see Aaron Hicks bat right-handed. So far tonight, he is 1 for 3 left-handed with a sacrifice fly and a double. And he takes a curveball or slider in there for a strike. Hicks, 6'2", 190 pounds. And he lives in Long Beach, California. 23 years old.
23 years old.
A first-round draft pick of the Minnesota Twins a few years back. It's a high fly ball, the fairly deep left center field. Melky Mesa back in front of the track makes the catch. Olmedo tags at first, is headed for second, and he will make it. That ball was hit well enough to have the runner advance from first to second, and now there are 2 outs.
Hey, Hicks, pretty good swing.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen him swing right-handed.
Put a nice charge into that ball. Good base running. Runner tagging up first, going to second, getting the scoring position.
You know you're gaining in importance when your manager shakes your hand after a flyout. Here's Escobar, who took over for Dozier at second. And he fouls one off.
A nice play there by the fan.
Double E, Eduardo Escobar at the plate. 2 outs, runner at second. The Yankees down 5-1. We're in the top half of the 8th inning. Line drive towards center. Coming on is Melky Mays. Going to have to play it on the hop. Runner rounds third. Almedo's going to score. So that tagging up on the long fly ball pays off. And the Twins now lead it 6-1. A 2-out RBI for Eduardo Escobar. Did Escobar run batted in?
It's Tom Brunansky, the new Twins hitting coach. They made some changes over there on that coaching staff, Kenny. The hitting coach went to first base. New bench coach. New bullpen coach.
Doug Bernier, you might remember him. He was in the Yankees organization until recently. Yeah, Joe Favre is now the third base coach. Scott Olger is now the first base coach. That pitch is outside for a ball.
They shook it up some.
Terry Steinbach, the former catcher, now the bench coach.
Bench coach.
Rick Anderson remains the pitching coach.
He's been there a while.
Yes, he has. Foul tipped into the glove of Romine for a strike.
No, I think the Twins, their payroll is somewhere in the 80s million. And you have two players, Murnau and Maurer, making about
almost
40.
Half.
Almost half.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of young players out there. Probably needed one good, solid #1 guy. But that,
you know, right now they don't have a pitcher like Brad Radke.
No, that costs money.
Fouled back by Bernier. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know, starting pitching, especially the #1s,
boy,
they get paid like #1s.
And they should.
Yeah, they should. I mean, when the fans see that they're pitching, you usually get a good boost at the box office. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the 3rd out, but Minnesota comes up with a run against Boone Logan here in the 8th inning, and Minnesota leads it 6-1. summary brought to you by Delta. In the 5-run fourth inning, Drew Butera had a big hit, a 3-run double. Phelps in New York went 3 2/3 innings and allowed 5 runs on 6 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Cano 1 for 2 with a run scored as he's back from the WBC championship and gets a base hit. Here's Melky Mason. In fact, it's the only hit the Yankees have tonight. Mason in place of Gardner. Gardner was 0 for 2 with a walk. And that pitch drops in there for a strike. Cole DeVries, second pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. Liam Hendricks started, went 4 innings, gave up a run. It was unearned, 1 hit, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Another curve, little chopper. DeVries throws, and it's just in time. Right now, we're going to go down near the Yankee clubhouse. Meredith Marakovich has a guest.
Thanks, Kenny. I'm joined by David Phelps. David, second to last appearance before opening day and the start of this season. How would you evaluate your performance today?
Frustrating. I just, early on felt like my stuff was there, and then just got into some deep counts with guys, and then just wasn't able to put guys away as quickly. They saw a lot of pitches, second time through the lineup, and then it ended up hurting me because next time through they'd seen everything, so just they were getting a little bit better swings.
Larry came out a couple times. What did he say to you on the mound?
I mean, he just typical Larry, just forget that and just let's get this next guy, get a ground ball, and let's get back in the dugout.
At this point in time in the spring, when you're battling for that 5th spot in the rotation, how much does that creep into the back of your mind?
It really doesn't. I mean, it's the whole competition has been brought on. I mean, more by people on the outside than us. It's just I'm just going out trying to do my job and letting that take care of itself. Not really worrying about what Nova's doing. I mean, the better he does, the better it is for the team. So we're both trying to go out and do our job.
How different has this spring been as opposed to last spring when you were still trying to see if you belonged here at the major league level?
Yeah, it's been different, but I mean it's a lot the same in the same sense because I'm still trying to go out and earn a spot, still trying to get better each time out, and so it's a matter of going out and doing my job and trying to get better each day.
And I just heard you saying in the clubhouse, your life changed a little bit at this time last year. So a special birthday coming up, right?
Yeah, this time last year we were in the hospital about to have our daughter. So tomorrow morning at about 1 o'clock we'll celebrate. So it's been an exciting year, that's for sure.
What a difference a year makes, right? Thanks for the time.
Thanks.
Send it back to you, Kenny.
Thank you very much, Meredith, and happy birthday to the Phelps' daughter. As that was Thomas Neal who broke a bat. Now he's up there again. Neal's up there with a count of 3-2.
Yeah, Phelps was a little bit lost for words when that conversation started.
You can tell he wasn't very happy with
Wasn't very happy,
no.
yes.
That he said he started out okay, and we felt the same way, but he used too many pitches. Neal fouls another pitch off.
And he didn't have that good curveball to go to tonight. So these twin hitters sat on his fastball and did a little work on him there in the 4th inning. That's what spring training's for.
By the way,
get your work in.
His daughter's name is Adeline, so happy first birthday to Adeline tomorrow. Swing and a miss, and Neal chases a pitch out of the strike zone and is struck out. Fans, this season, the Yankees are pleased to introduce the New York Yankees Ticket Exchange by Ticketmaster, the new official resale marketplace of the Yankees and Yankees.com. The Yankees Ticket Exchange is a safe, secure, convenient, and affordable place for fans to buy and sell tickets. Visit Yankees.com/ticket exchange today to buy and resell your tickets.
Pretty neat idea.
Yeah. Here's Gil Velasquez, and he'll take a pitch for a call strike. Velasquez, he's had a decent spring, hitting .318. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Lines one into left field. Coming on is the left fielder Ramirez, and he makes the catch, and the Yankees go 1-2-3. It's on to the 9th inning. It's been all Minnesota tonight. They lead it. Well, fans, later tonight, Nets head coach P.J. Carlesimo sits down with Michael Kay on GMC Presents Center Stage. The sideline general discusses his long coaching career from Seton Hall and the Dream Team to his storied years in the NBA. It's Center Stage tonight after the game, only on Yes. New pitcher's Preston Claiborne. He comes on for the 9th inning, and he gets Chris Parmalee. This is his 8th game this spring and 8 strikeouts in 8 innings.
1.13 ERA.
Yeah, he's opened some eyes. Parmalee is 1 for 4 tonight. Six to 1, Minnesota leading.
Well, the story tonight, Kenny, the Yankees with only 1 base hit.
Yeah, that's not going to win many ball games.
3 errors.
Yeah, that's not going to help either. You know, when I look at the scorecard, that pitch is low, ball 3. I thought Rivera and Robertson, Hardsman, were very good out of the bullpen tonight. Very good. They look strong. 6 strikeouts between the 3 of them in 3 innings. Oh, that's a good fastball. Swung on and missed.
Yeah, Claiborne's got a very nice downhill delivery.
You know, if I'm hitting, I'm looking for another one. He's going to rush another one up there. Especially leading off the inning. Look for a 3-2 fastball. Yep, he missed. Ball 4. A leadoff walk to Parmalee.
You know, with a 5-run lead, the Yankees are playing their first baseman behind the runner.
Here's Beretta, and he went around too far. Manny Beretta, who is now playing third base. He's had 1 at bat, flied out to right. High fly ball center field. And this is going to be caught by Mesa for the out.
There have been some good shots hit out the center field tonight, Kenny. We mentioned a little bit of the heavy air. The ball's not carrying as well. Mesa gets a good jump on the ball also.
It's Brandon Boggs, and he takes a pitch for a call strike.
There's been some good center field play on both teams tonight.
Looper towards Ibarra at short, and that's out number 2. Well, fans, Sunday afternoon get a preview of the upcoming season with the Yankees 2013 Pride, Power, and Pinstripes. Join the Yes crew in Tampa as they look at the big storylines for the upcoming season, including roster breakdowns and interviews with Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, and manager Joe Girardi. Yankees 2013 premieres at Sunday at 4 only on Yes.
Sunday, the Tampa Bay Rays come in here,
Yes,
don't they?
They do. It should be interesting to see a division rival for the first time this year. This is Ramirez, the left fielder, who's fouled out to first base. Swing and a miss.
You know, the strength of that Tampa Bay team has been their pitching. I'm wondering how the loss of Shields will affect it.
Yeah, they're going to hope for pitchers like Hellickson, who is scheduled to pitch on Sunday, will step up. And Matt Moore, the youngster.
Cobb.
Yeah. Cobb's looked very good this spring. Alex Cobb. 0-2 pitch. You know, the thing about that I worry about the Rays, their offense. Yeah, it didn't like
inconsistent.
Yeah, it was. Even after Longoria returned to the lineup.
Oh, he has to stay healthy right in the middle part of their lineup.
1-2 pitch, and it is called strike 3. That's going to do it for the Twins here in the top of the 9th. They get one base runner and nothing else. Yankees coming to the plate. Bring your family, friends, or business associates to Yankee Stadium for a group outing and enjoy Yankee baseball in an individual game suite. Individual game suites can accommodate groups as small as 12 and up to 382 guests with all-inclusive food and non-alcoholic beverage packages. Make your special occasion legendary. Call 212-YANKEES or log on to yankees.com/suites today. Dan Johnson will come in to face Pedro Hernandez, who has taken over for the Twins here in the 9th inning. Johnson gets a chance to face the left-hander, and he swings and misses, strike 1.
Very good fastball.
So Hendricks went 4, gave up 1 run. It was unearned, and DeVries came on, followed him. He went 4. No runs and no hits, a couple of strikeouts and a walk, and now here's Hernandez. Pitch is lifted in the air to left field for Wilkin Ramirez, who makes the catch for 1 out. Well, Sunday afternoon, the American League East dogfight starts in March when the Yankees welcome the Rays to Steinbrenner Field on Monday, April 1st. It's opening day at Yankee Stadium as the Bombers kick off the 2013 season against the Boston Red Sox. Coverage starts early at 11:30 a.m. only on Yahoo. Here's Jose Perilla, and he'll take a pitch for a strike. And here's another pitch for a strike.
A little screwball.
Yeah.
Had nice movement on it.
It's called strike 3. He got the inside corner. Wow.
3 pretty good pitches. Both sides of the plate. That was a power fastball.
Here's Ranier Bistillier. He's getting his first at bat of the night. And that's in there for a call strike. Tell you what, Lou, Hernandez is pitching like he wants to be the first one on the bus back to Fort Myers.
Yeah. Their roster's down to about 42 players now, so he's still hanging around.
Well, you throw left-handed and get people out. Give yourself a chance.
He's got a little major league experience. Minor league totals 33 and 15. So he knows how to win.
Was he a reliever or a starter in the minors?
Minor leagues, he was a. Well, he pitched both.
All right.
He pitched both.
Ground ball to third. Cano with the play, and that is going to do it. The Yankees go in order here in the ninth inning, and they lose this one to the Minnesota Twins by a score of 6-1. And the Yankees will head down to play these same Minnesota Twins tomorrow. They'll take the bus right down to Fort Myers. Ivan Nova will get the start against Vance Worley. Now it's time for the play of the game, brought to you by G.
Yeah, and the play of the game came in the fourth inning. A 3-run double by Drew Butera. Drilled the ball into the left field corner. Butera with a 3-run double. Play of the game.
Now that emptied the bases. That was the big hit of the ball game as we check out the fireworks here at Steinbrenner Field. It's the fireworks for the Minnesota Twins. Came in the fourth inning when they scored 5 times on their way to a 6-1 victory. 6 runs, 10 hits, an error for the Yankees. 1 run, 1 hit, 3 errors. The hit was by Robinson Cano as he came back from the WBC tonight, went immediately to the lineup, and he got the hit. Hendricks is the winner. Phelps is the loser. We mentioned a 3-run double by Butera. Cano's hit. Mariano Rivera came in for 1 inning, and he struck out 3, allowed 1 hit. That'll do it from here at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Today's game produced by Frank DeGrace, coordinating director John Moore, our senior vice president of operations Ed Delaney. Our supervising producer is Woody Fryman, and the executive producer is Mr. John J. Filippelli. Join us again Sunday for Yankees baseball as the Bombers take on the Rays at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Coverage begins at 1 p.m. on the Yes Network. Once again, the final score, the Twins 6, the Yankees 1. For Lou Piniella, Meredith Marakovitz, Jack Curry, I'm Ken Singleton saying so long from Tampa.